The young man merely picked up a bronze mirror in the river, unexpectedly unlocking his family's path of immortal cultivation. Hand over the great lunar breathing energy refining incantation and the lunar essence secret summary, and we can merely cripple your cultivation base. The scene shifted, and a violent shaking sensation jolted Lu Jianxian awake. What is going on? I seem to be inside a mirror. Or perhaps, I have soul transmigrated into a mirror. Lu Jianxian, inside the mirror, watched the moonlight gather bit by bit upon his body, forming a touch of pale white lunar halo as if coming to life. What is this? Absorbing and exhaling the essence of the sun and moon? Are there truly immortals in this world? Are there miraculous divine abilities, monsters, and ghosts and gods? Then what have I become? An artifact spirit? Lu Jianxian smiled bitterly. Then, he deliberately controlled the airflow to stagnate at the center of the mirror. The gray cyan mirror subsequently emitted tiny rays of fine light. There is no way to leave this mirror. It seems that other than emitting light and absorbing lunar essence, I can do nothing else right now. Let's properly absorb the lunar essence first. Maybe there will be new changes. I don't know the material of the mirror, nor do I know how the outside world views an artifact with spiritual intelligence. I hope I don't get discovered by some immortal cultivator who casually wipes out my sentience. I don't know how long it has been. The eyebrow ruler river in the early morning was incomparably clear. The third son of the Li family, Li Xiangping, tightened his right hand and grabbed a green-tail fish in the river by its gills, lifting it up. Li Xiangping laughed heartily a few times, tossing the fish into the basket. Looking at the soles of his feet, Li Xiangping's expression seemed to hold some doubt. There appeared to be an excessively smooth spot at the bottom of the water, faintly revealing a silver light. Just as he was preparing to investigate it thoroughly, a loud shout rang out on the shore. Brother Li Xiangping, so it's younger brother Li Yeshan, come to herd the ducks? Li Xiangping let out a breath of relief and pushed the basket forward. Look at this green-tail fish, caught it barehanded. Li Yeshan looked down at the basket, smiling enviously. What a good fish. Alright, brother Li Xiangping, I'm going back to watch the ducks. If two are missing, my brother will definitely beat me to death. As soon as he left, Li Xiangping took a deep breath and dived straight to the bottom of the river. He felt around back and forth and actually touched a circular object. This thing was about the size of a palm, a small gray cyan circular plate in the center. Its front side shattered into 7 or 8 pieces, held together by the rim so it didn't fall apart. It somewhat resembled his aunt's reflection glass. It was a pity that it was foggy and nothing could be seen. It seemed it could no longer be used. Thus, he casually threw the bronze mirror into the fish basket. Watching the boy get up and leave, Lu Jianxian sighed. Right now, he could only take things one step at a time. On the small path back to the village, a girl came walking from afar. Brother Li Xiangping. Li Xiangping smiled and looked at the girl, turning around to hand over that basket of fish catch. Look at the good fish your brother caught. Take a few back to have a taste. Tianyan hurriedly refused, but she was still forcibly stuffed with 2 fishes by Li Xiangping. He then walked towards the fields. His 2 older brothers were doing farm work with his father. The Li family had 4 brothers, namely the eldest son Li Changlu, the second son Li Tongya, the third son Li Xiangping, and the 4th son Li Qijing. In Great Cliff Village, when mentioning these 4 brothers of the Li family, not a single person wouldn't give a thumbs up. Eldest brother really has good fortune to have given birth to such 4 fine young men. Good men should study and command troops. Working in the fields makes them cowards. There is also knowledge to be found in the fields. In any case, we can finally farm in peace for a few days. A few days ago, those immortals acted like they had gone mad, flying back and forth in the Great Dawn Mountain, wishing they could dig 3 feet into the ground. I don't know what they were searching for. Since ancient times, when immortals fight, the common people suffer. After finishing the farm work in the fields, the 4 members of the Li family went home together to eat. 4th brother went to the back mountain early in the morning. Why hasn't he returned yet? As soon as the words fell, the 4th brother Li Qijing came back carrying a sack. I caught a nest of fat field mice. Father, quickly look. Li Qijing did well. Much better than your older brothers. After dinner, Li Xiangping leaned against the corner of the wall. Father Li Mutian was stopped as soon as he came out. I picked up this object in the river early in the morning. It is neither iron nor bronze. What good thing is it? At this time, the cold, clear moon slowly drifted to the front of the house, as if coming alive, gathering bit by bit above the mirror surface, forming a faint lunar halo. Li Mutian turned pale with fright, forcing himself to move his eyes away from the lunar halo. Suddenly, he noticed a sound coming from the nearby bushes. He immediately picked up a wood chopping knife and walked towards that direction. Li Xiangping, tell your brothers to bring out their knives. The night was still fine. Li Xiangping pushed open the door of the room. Father said to quickly grab our weapons and go to the door. Li Changlu stood up in shock, holding Li Xiangping with both hands. Is father in any serious danger? Did he say what happened? Second brother Li Tongya quickly got up and took a knife. It must be our enemies coming to our door. You take mother and Li Qijing to hide in the backyard. We will go help father. At this moment, the 3 were standing at the door, quietly looking at the melon field in front of the house. You 2 investigate the front and back of the house, one on the left and one on the right, to ensure there is no one around. I will go check the fields. As the long knife swept across the field, Li Mutian discovered that Fi Fye Uncle, spare my life. Li Yesheng never expected that he, merely wanting to steal a melon to satisfy his craving, would in the blink of an eye have this uncle he feared the most, standing in front of him holding a long knife. The two youths also rushed over upon hearing the sound. Why are you here? Seeing Li Yesheng stammering, Li Mutian answered for him with a cold face. He came to steal melons. Li Tongya also pulled back his strength and lifted his stick, leaving behind a sentence before following his father back into the house. Eldest brother Li Changhu had a doubtful expression. Father, why must you do this? Li Yesheng only stole a single melon. Instead of doing this easy favor, you insist on offending his family. What is family or our family? There is only one Li family. I also know that this child Li Yesheng often comes to seek handouts. Ordinarily, I wouldn't want to bicker with him, but tonight's situation is different. Once the news of this matter leaks out, I fear our entire Li family will be turned to ash and smoke. Li Xiangping, you speak. Li Xiangping nodded vigorously and spoke in a very small voice. Today I went to the Eyebrow Ruler River to catch fish, and picked up an object from the river. Li Changhu looked at his younger brother, then looked at his father. Isn't this just an ordinary reflection glass? Li Changhu didn't see what profound mystery lay within this object. Li Mutian didn't speak, but instead found that small hole in the roof, and placed the reflection glass right under it. They saw the moonlight rippling endlessly like water, and gathering above the mirror surface like baby swallows throwing themselves into a forest, emerging into a touch of pale white, gem-like lunar halo. I have never seen such beautiful scenery since I was young. Gee, let alone you. Your old man has never seen such a good thing either. This is probably an item of the Immortals. Li Tongya spoke quietly. Father is right. If the word gets out, it will also be the disaster of our family's annihilation. If it is a lost item of an Immortal, they will cast a spell to find it tomorrow. How should we handle ourselves? What the Immortals might reward us with, our family would enjoy endlessly. Li Mutian waved his hand. I have heard that there are many bloodthirsty ones among the Immortals. Absolutely not. This reflection glass has been dropped in the water for who knows how long. If they wanted to retrieve it, they would have picked it up long ago. How would it be the turn of us mortals? I think that Immortal has most likely met with an unexpected mishap. Li Tongya suddenly realized, then picked up a long knife and spoke coldly. Today's matter was unfortunately seen by that brat Li Yesheng. I showed this object to father in front of the house. At that time, brother Li Yesheng should have been in the fields. Li Tongya's expression was fierce. Putting on a fine coat without hesitation, he grabbed the knife and walked outside. I will go eliminate him right now. Li Mutian frowned and stopped Li Tongya. This person Li Yesheng is fickle and lacking in loyalty, excessively boastful yet bites the hand that feeds him, rather than letting him misspeak and leak the news, drawing the disaster of annihilation upon our Li family. It's better to let him die first. Then if your youngest brother bit the hand that fed him, and had a loose mouth, would you kill him as well? Li Tongya said indifferently. Our family doesn't have that kind of seed. Li Mutian shook his head. He raised his hand and straightened the wooden table. He leaped up, tapped lightly on the table, and pulled out a wooden box from the roof beam. Placing the wooden box on the tabletop, he opened the wooden box. Inside the box lay a wooden slip, a talisman, and some miscellaneous items like a few pieces of broken silver and colored glaze. He sternly said to the three brothers in front of him, there are some things you should know. I left my hometown at 13, and entered peaceful Dawn County along the ancient Dawn Road. General Yang received the Imperial Court's order to attack the mountain surpassers and conscripted soldiers on the ancient Dawn Road. At that time, your father had nowhere to stay, so I had to become a soldier. This combat method was widely circulated, easy to learn but hard to master. Ordinary people who mastered it would merely have agile bodies, with no apparent miraculous aspects. After returning to my hometown, I read and wrote, and transcribed the combat method into this wooden slip from memory. I have already told you all to practice it carefully. Now it doesn't seem to have yielded any great results. This is the first thing. Back when we fought the mountain surpassers, there were many witch doctors among the mountain surpassers, who commanded miasma, snakes, and insects. The army distributed these talismans to resist the witchcraft. This talisman saved my life. Now its divine light is no longer apparent. Just like a piece of torn paper, the mountain surpassers love to wear beast bones. I killed people and scavenged these valuable objects from the corpses. This is the third thing. Tomorrow I will take this piece of colored glaze and tell your second uncle that this was what Li Xiangping picked up from the river. Regardless of whether Li Yesheng saw it or not, we will firmly insist that it is just a piece of broken colored glaze, only sparkling under the moonlight. Father has thought this through thoroughly. Second uncle is a generous man, understands the bigger picture and values the overall situation. He won't make a fuss about anything. It's a pity that Li Yesheng is a piece of trash. Now we have to see how to use this treasure, and in what way, or else it might be fetching water with a bamboo basket. All in vain. Lu Jianxian listened all the way inside the mirror, and formulated a plan in his heart. He was unable to move inside the mirror, whether to protect himself, or to break free from the mirror. If he wants to find a path on the long road of immortality that he himself can walk through, he absolutely must rely on the manpower and material resources of this local land. The Li family has a peasant background, with a shallow foundation, and yet all of them happen to be outstanding. Father Li Mutian has excellent courage and insight. Eldest son Li Changhu handles matters smoothly friendly and is generous. Second son Li Tongya is brave, decisive, and dares to fight. Li Xiangping and Li Qijing are also quick-witted and agile individuals. It is truly the top choice for a union. Right now, this Li family seems to be my only choice. Previously, I vaguely sensed in the dark that there seemed to be something attracting me to the north of the village. That seems to be a part of me, or something crucially important to me. Now I have to think of a way to let the Li family take me to the north to take a look. Even just looking from afar would be good. Thinking of this, Lu Jianxian urged the airflow inside his body, surging towards the upper left corner of the mirror body. Li Tongya took the reflection glass. Sure enough, a white light lit up. Afterwards, Li Mutian and Li Chanlu took the reflection glass and also tried stroking the mirror surface. It similarly lit up with a white light. Very quickly, Li Tongya discovered, no matter where this object was stroked from, the fine light that lit up always pointed to the north. It is as if guiding us to go north. North of the village is the direction of the moon-gazing lake. Li Tongya proposed that he and Li Xiangping take the reflection glass together and go north to take a look. There existed the opportunity belonging to their Li family. Li Mutian nodded his head. Go to the village entrance. By the way, Li Chanlu, fetch a string of cured meat. We are going to visit the teacher. Li Mutian led the three children from the end of the village to the head of the village. On the way, the villagers leaning against their thresholds to rest smiled and greeted them. Arriving at the village entrance, Li Mutian looked around and patted the shoulders of Li Tongya and Li Xiangping. The two understood tacitly, bent down, and quickly disappeared into the dense reed marshes. It really is the direction of the moon-gazing lake. One only needs to walk closely along the ancient Dawn Road for half a double hour. Li Mutian looked into the distance with worry. The eldest son couldn't help but remind him, you should have instructed the two of them earlier. If there are miraculous occurrences, just observe from afar and retreat. Do not linger. Li Tongya knows his limits. At this time, the teacher Han Wenshu, holding a small bowl, came to Li Mutian's side. The two moved a small table, poured 2 small cups of rice wine, and sat in front of the door and started chatting. Those immortals flying high and low these past few days have finally stopped coming. Immortals, sigh. The year I was 12, an immortal came to the town. He said he was looking for people with awakened apertures. Out of more than 1,000 toddlers in the entire town, he only found 3 people with awakened apertures, and took the 3 of them away. The immortals flying high and low in the sky nowadays perhaps include my fellow townsmen. Li Mutian was silent for a long time, and comforted him saying, immortal destiny is hard to attain. On the other side, the two squeezed out of the overlapping reed marshes. The sparkling moon-gazing lake jumped into their line of sight. Lu Jianxian looked straight at a rocky sandbar in the lake. Among those moss-covered rocks, a piece of jade flashing with white light was firmly stuck between the rock crevices. That's it. Li Xiangping and Li Tongya exchanged a glance, both seeing astonishment and joy in the other's eyes. That piece of jade should be the thing we're looking for. Li Xiangping got up and was about to swim towards the opposite bank, but was stopped by his second brother Li Tongya. I will go get it. You hold the reflection glass and wait on the shore. If the moon moves to that position and I haven't returned, you hide the reflection glass in the reed marsh and run towards the ancient Dawn Road. Do not go home. Wait until the sun is high in the sky before coming back to check the situation. Li Xiangping unknowingly had a crying tone. Wiping his tears and looking at his second brother, Li Tongya took off his clothes, revealing his strong and muscular arms, turned around and swam into the lake. He quickly swam to the center of the lake. Then, he carefully probed among the many rock crevices. In the time it takes for an incense stick to burn, he had completely searched the sandbar. Still nothing. Fortunately, through his diligent searching, he finally discovered that glowing jade. This jade piece was elongated in shape, its surface carved with some faint character patterns via great lunar energy nourishing wheel. The patterns on this jade were complex. The writing style of the characters was special, and he could only vaguely decipher these few words. First, take this jade back. He wiped the jade in his hand and waded through the water back towards the shore. Li Tongya climbed onto the shore, called out softly towards the reed marshes, and Li Xiangping poked his head out. Just as Li Tongya was about to display the jade, the moment he opened his hand, the jade transformed into a streak of white light, swooshing into the mirror. The two of them were startled into a shudder by this sudden change. They watched the white light surging on the mirror surface, while the moonlight also turned into streaks of lunar halos, tumbling one after another into the mirror. Lu Jianxian, however, felt as if he had been struck by lightning. A streak of white light crashed directly into his face. Knowledge as vast as the misty sea rapidly flooded into his mind. He let out a cry of pain and swiftly fainted. Li Tongya and Li Xiangping watched as the reflection glass in their hands slowly calmed down after swallowing the jade in one gulp. The white light also gradually dimmed. Second brother, what should we do now? The golden red dawn clouds climbed up the sky. Li Tongya lowered his head and said to his younger brother, let's go home first. Li Mutian sat beside the red painted wooden table, listening to his two sons explain the whole sequence of events clearly. He nodded and said to Li Tongya, well done. He and Li Chanlu tossed and turned all night, unable to sleep last night. Now seeing the two children return safely, his suspended heart finally settled down. Right now, the children were growing into adults day by day. It looked as if they were about about to divide the household, relying on his savings. The Lee family could be said to be a prominent and respectable large household in the village, with nearly 20 acres of land in total. They were already at the level where they could close their doors and act as landlords. Nowadays, this family could not be divided anymore. Wives must also be found among considerate individuals of their own inner circle. Lee Mutian recalled the appearances of those wealthy households he had seen in the city, a direct bloodline family in a large courtyard, studying to become officials, practicing martial arts to command troops. How glorious! In contrast, poor peasant families divide everything cleanly. You don't drag me down, I don't pull you in. Is father planning to learn the clan laws and regulations from the books, establishing an ancestral hall, opening a clan estate, studying for officialdom, practicing martial arts to command troops? Our Lee family has accumulated for 200 years. It is also the right time. As for studying and practicing martial arts, the ancient Dawn Road is incomparably perilous. Going in and out of the Great Dawn Mountain means 9 deaths out of 10. Studying and practicing martial arts wouldn't even let you sell your skills to the emperor of the nation of transcendence. It is merely to seek the inheritance of the family business, to achieve self-protection, nothing more. Li Tongya nodded and replied in a low voice, perhaps there is something even more wondrous than studying and practicing martial arts. Stop talking nonsense here. Li Mutian laughed heartily, patted Li Tongya's shoulder, tilted his head back, and walked out with his hands behind his back. Subsequently, he called the children out to start planning. Front house and backyard are not small. The backyard even leans against the back mountain. As for the footprint of the estate, it needs to be expanded by several times. The overall orientation will remain unchanged. When the time comes, we will rebuild the entire estate compound completely. On the 2 melon fields in front, I'm thinking of building 2 houses, guarding left and right, connecting into one large courtyard. Once the front gate is closed, we won't worry about people peeking in. These 2 houses will be used as the side rooms for Li Changhu and Li Tongya. In the middle, we'll use bluestone to build a grand hall. A pond will be built in the center of the courtyard. Catch a few green fish and place them inside. In front of the large courtyard, we'll build another front courtyard, paved with stone bricks. Place stone locks for punching and practicing martial arts. And Li Changhu, I heard you have taken a liking to the second daughter of the Ren family. Once the estate renovation is complete, we will marry that girl grandly into the Li family. Behind the grand hall, we also need to build an ancestral hall. Inside the ancestral hall, tablets will be erected to enshrine my ancestors of several generations. Finally, to ensure safety, the ancestral hall must have a hidden room built. Inside, a stone platform will be built with bluestones, and a skylight will be opened. In the future, the reflection glass will be placed there for enshrinement. 3 years later, 2 figures arrived in front of the Lee estate gates. Quick, please come inside. Hearing that aunt was ill, father was worried that you wouldn't have the time to cook, so he thought of inviting you and little Zay to our home to taste my mother's cooking and conveniently take some back for aunt. Who would have dared to think that Li Mutian, who slaughtered an entire family that night, could unexpectedly raise such gentle, kind, respectful, and frugal children? Passing through the front courtyard, they quickly met Li Mutian, who had been waiting for a long time. After exchanging pleasantries, the whole large family sat around the dining table, chatting while eating. Inside the hidden room of the ancestral hall, Li Qijing, who was meditating, suddenly discovered that the bronze mirror, which had been dim for 3 years, lit up with radiance once again. Li Qijing hurriedly walked into the front courtyard, leaned near Li Mutian's ear, and whispered, "The reflection glass has lit up." Li Mutian maintained his composure, patted his legs, and spoke to the crowd. "I am getting old. I just can't sit still anymore. I will go rest for a while. You guys go on chatting." Afterwards, Li Mutian and Li Qijing came to the hidden room of the ancestral hall and saw the bronze mirror on the platform above, brightly emitting a water-like white light. "It has been 3 years. Go call all your older brothers here." 3 years? Have I really slept for 3 years in this slumber? Before falling into a deep sleep, Lu Jianxian could only sense the situation around the reflection glass. Now his spiritual sense is actually sufficient to cover the entire new estate of the Li family. The range is at least 20 lengths. Moreover, the upper limit of the lunar essence power within his body has also multiplied by several dozen folds. Right at this moment, Lu Jianxian's mind was heavily stuffed with information. He rested for the time it takes an incense stick to burn, and started to quietly read the information on the jade. This is the great lunar breathing nourishing will scripture, the immortal estate of the nation of transcendence, the lunar essence primary estate, the fetal breathing will nourishing method. Lu Jianxian discovered that this information seemed to have been stuffed into his mind long ago. Along with the assimilation of that piece of jade, there are also some spell arts. After cultivating the 6 wheels, one can use them by urging spiritual energy according to the incantation. Even for Lu Jianxian, who was inside the reflection glass, as long as the lunar essence power was sufficient, these few minor arts could be cast within a radius of 1 length around the reflection glass. Most importantly, this profound pearl spirit sacrificing art. This spell art is different from other spell arts. It is the awakened life-bound incantation of the immortal reflection glass. It can use the mirror body to draw upon the great lunar essence to condense the profound pearl talisman seed. Planting this talisman seed into the elixir field of another person can assist that person in their cultivation. Once that person achieves success in cultivation or dies, it can feed back to oneself, forging the great lunar profound light. Although this spell art looks a bit wicked, highly resembling the demonic arts in books, but in reality, this profound pearl talisman seed is not only harmless to the recipient, but also has many benefits. And if the recipient wants to invite the profound pearl talisman seed out from the mirror and nourish it in their elixir field, they would need another spell art from within, named the guiding method. Upon seeing the text in the reflection glass, Li Mutian hurriedly told Li Qijing to fetch cloth, silk, brush, and ink to quickly copy down this immortal method. Make absolutely sure to be careful. Remember not to copy a single character wrong. Li Xiangping looked at the small characters on the cloth scroll and read slowly. The profound pearl is the true core. At the beginning of the first revolution, the core descends into the heart's meridian network. Hence it is said the core cave is in the central palace. The core descending is considered one revolution. After he just read a few sentences, the members of the Li family had faces full of shock. This is an immortal method. Li Xiangping's gaze quickly swept over the cloth scroll, landing on the last few sentences at the end of the text. Subsequently, the few of them, suppressing their pleasant surprise, passed the incantation around to read it carefully and silently memorized it with the help of the annotations in the scroll. Early morning, Li Mutian walked past the fields humming and murmuring, "Uncle Li, is there any joyous event today?" Li Mutian let out a hearty laugh. The green ears of grain in this field looked delightful. Yi Qingfu leaned on his hoe with both hands, that is catching the joyous aura of brother Li Changhu. It turned out that Li Mutian's daughter-in-law was well-behaved and sensible, and usually focused all her attention on Li Changhu. She was also someone who could keep a secret. Wait until she gives birth to an heir before appropriately revealing some information. After all, living under the same roof, excessive hiding and covering up would only breed suspicion and grudges. On the other hand, Li Tongya is unwilling to take a wife, and Li Xiangping has also reached the right age. The sister Tianyun raised by my old brother is not bad. Her age is also suitable. I'll go back and ask Li Xiangping. If the matter is settled properly, I will carry a wild goose to ask for her name in a few days. On the other side, the four sons of the Li family were practicing the guiding method. Lu Jiangxian's spiritual sense fell upon the Li family members in the courtyard. Above the heads of the few people, faintly discernible white glows immediately emerged. None of the Li family members possessed spiritual apertures. If they wanted to set foot on the immoral path, they could only cultivate according to this method. The white fine light manifested during the first practice of the guiding method represented this person's compatibility with the profound pearl talisman seed. He whose white fine light is 1 foot long. The white fine light Li Tongya manifested was 6 inches long. Thus he could achieve 60% of the cultivation speed of someone with spiritual apertures. Li Xiangping's white fine light was 5 inches, and Li Changhu's white fine light was merely 3 inches. Among the four sons, Li Qijing had the longest white fine light, a full 8 inches. 2 months later, Li Qijing abruptly opened his eyes, looking at Li Mutian sitting to the side. I have memorized this incantation thoroughly over these 2 months. Today is the beginning of summer among the 8 solar terms. Perhaps I can give it a try. Li Mutian nodded his head, speaking slowly. Then try it today. In front of the table, Li Qijing performed 3 kneelings and 9 kowtows. Kneeling, bowing his body, and lowering his head. Speaking respectfully, Li family disciple Li Qijing respectfully requests the profound clarity wondrous method to preside over destiny and calm the spirit. I devote myself to the way in cultivation, and shall speak of my merits in due time, not betraying the effectiveness and trust. Following the transformative flow, I bodily thank the great lunar. He emptied his mind, urging the incantation, repeatedly ingesting the natural energy of supreme harmony. At the same time, Lu Jiangxian's mind stirred, and the mirror's surface instantly brimmed with flowing light and vibrant colors, sparkling like water ripples. Li Mutian and the others were greatly uplifted, staring fixedly at the tabletop, only to see that gray cyan reflection glass buzzing loudly, and a white pill leaped up from the mirror surface, perfectly round and dazzlingly bright. The white light flickered, illuminating the courtyard into a vast expanse of white, so bright that the few of them couldn't open their eyes. Li Qijing only felt a blankness in his mind. With a thunderous roaring sound, a dignified and heavy voice suddenly emerged. Here is a disciple of the Li clan, guarding against passions and dispositions, stopping and blocking improper deeds, suppressing and cutting off the roots of evil. I bestow the profound clarity wondrous method to cause the karmic path to arise within him, entering sainthood from mortality, from beginning to end, starting first from precepts, then eventually ascending to truth, bestowing 1 volume of the great lunar breathing nourishing will scripture, and 1 course of the golden light art, waiting until the great lunar sets, and the golden crow takes flight. Li Qijing finally jolted all over, slowly waking up. Brothers, I have obtained the profound pearl talisman seed, and have already crossed into the gates of immoral cultivation. Besides, I also obtained a set of incantations, called the great lunar breathing nourishing will scripture. Li Qijing wanted to open his mouth and recite the outline of the incantation. Who knew the white pill in his energy sea acupoint leaped gently, and for an instant, he unexpectedly lost his voice. He turned pale with fright, subconsciously covering his mouth, and opened his mouth to call out again. Seeing that he could speak again, Li Qijing let out a long breath of relief, and refusing to believe in the supernatural, planned to attempt to write down the incantation outline, only to find that he couldn't recite it aloud nor write it from memory. This immortal method cannot be written down nor recited aloud. How truly miraculous. Li Changlu smiled and patted Li Qijing's head. It doesn't matter. Wait until the summer solstice. The rest of us will request the method together. Li Qijing, however, interrupted him, saying hesitantly, Brother Li Changlu, this talisman seed seems to only have 6 pieces. After I obtained the profound pearl talisman seed, vaguely my mind gained many things. What 6 realms of immortal cultivation? What fetal breathing nourishing wheels? This magical reflection glass seems to only be able to distribute 6 talisman seeds. Li Xiangping comforted him. Such a miraculous object, snatching the good fortune of heaven and earth. It is completely normal that there aren't many in quantity. Eldest brother Li Changlu let out a yawn, waved his hand. Let's all go back to sleep. We've waited all night and are all so tired. Early the next morning, Li Mutian walked with his hands behind his back to the front of the Tian family courtyard. Tian Yun, who was squatting in the courtyard picking vegetables and humming a song, had already looked up. Uncle Li Mutian is here. Li Mutian responded with a smile, looking Tian Yun up and down. Not bad. Seeing Li Mutian coming carrying things, she couldn't help but be taken aback. Looking closely again, she immediately cried out in surprise. This is a wild goose. In the nation of transcendence, when the man's side wants to form a marriage with the woman's side, they would carry a large wild goose to the door. This etiquette is known as accepting the choice. Li Mutian got straight to the point. Do you care for that Li Xiangping of my family? Tian Yun had already turned red from the roots of her ears all the way to her neck, clearly already having an answer. Tian Shoshui walked out laughing heartily. Tian Shoshui, I want to discuss with you the good matter between Tian Yun and my Li Xiangping. What do you think? Since Tian Yun is willing, how could I have any objections? I will completely listen to Big Brother's arrangements. Besides this marriage, there's also an important matter I want to inform Big Brother about. A few days ago, when I went up the mountain and passed by the ancestral tomb of the Yuan family, I heard some commotions. By the time I turned back to look for it, I saw nothing at all. Li Mutian raised his eyebrows, speaking gloomily. Does the Yuan family still have clan members that weren't completely killed off? More than 10 years ago, the Yuan family killed Li Mutian's younger brother, and also wanted to annex his Li family, taking advantage of the dark night. Li Mutian, Tian Shoshui, and a few soldiers wiped out the Yuan family. Tian Shoshui hurriedly comforted him, saying, back then we indeed asked around as well. The Yuan family had 5 people. There were no omissions, so I reckon they were relatives by marriage or distant ties, who dared to offer sacrifices secretly. Tian Shoshui gave himself a slap on the mouth. On such a good day, I shouldn't have spoken these unlucky words. Teasingly, Li Mutian chuckled softly, stepping out of the Tian family home. Li Mutian walked on the dirt road with a calm face, thoughtfully gazing at the great Dawn Mountain. Having finished discussing the marriage, Li Mutian returned to the courtyard humming and murmuring. Li Xiangping, upon learning that his father had proposed marriage to the Tian family for him, was extremely excited, staring at his father with a face full of anxiety. What did the Tian family say? Li Mutian slowly took a sip of tea and sighed comfortably. Tian Yin said she cares for you. Li Xiangping nodded excitedly. That is truly wonderful. The 2 older brothers couldn't help but burst into laughter. Li Mutian, however, was thinking of other matters. Putting down his teacup, he became serious and spoke. Listen to me. Although the immortal path is said to be incredibly miraculous, who knows what kinds of terrors and crises are lurking? Our Li family is thin in numbers. If something happens to you, who will inherit this Li family? This magical reflection glass is our family's serendipity, but it will also be our family's disaster. I hurriedly arranged a marriage for Li Changlu, held the wedding, hoping he would quickly give birth to an heir, precisely fearing that if something happens someday, our Li family can still have a ray of life. Li Mutian pointed at Li Xiangping. You are the same. As for Li Tongya, I am old and can no longer persuade you. You have no interest in these women in the village, but you still have to leave behind some descendants, right? Li Tongya nodded in silence. Rest assured, father, I know my limits. At this moment, a crisp voice interrupted the somewhat oppressive atmosphere in the courtyard. Li Qijing rushed out from the room. Father, while cultivating, I grasped some tricks for condensing lunar essence. In just a few days, I will be able to follow the guidance of the reflection glass's incantation, cultivate 81 strands of lunar essence, and condense the profound scene wheel. The few people learned from Li Qijing's mouth that the first step of cultivation is called fetal breathing. The fetal breathing realm requires condensing 6 wheels. This profound scene wheel is precisely the gate to entering the way. Only by condensing the profound scene wheel can one be considered to have truly set foot on the path of immortal cultivation. The brothers one after another revealed smiles. Li Changlu even pinched Li Qijing's cheeks, not letting go until this child cried out in pain repeatedly. Once the brothers obtain the incantations in the future, I will share this trick with the brothers. Li Xiangping proposed. The dark and new moon days were missed because preparations were incomplete. However, in a few days it will be the summer solstice. Let's wait a few more days, and we will guide the talisman seeds together. Li Tongya quietly carved the guiding method onto the wooden slip, but his heart was surging with great waves, endlessly excited. The path of immortal cultivation. I, Li Tongya, am coming. Summer solstice raindrops are worth 1,000 pieces of gold. The day finally arrived for the other 3 sons of the Li family to guide the talisman seeds. The 3 sat cross-legged together in front of the table, speaking in unison. Li family disciple Li Changhu, Li Tongya, Li Xiamping respectfully request the profound clarity wondrous method to preside over destiny and calm the spirit. I devote myself to the way in cultivation. Inside the mirror, Lu Jiangxian shot out 3 white pills, only to see colorful brilliance flowing on the reflection glass. From the mirror surface leaped 3 white pills flying towards the 3 people. Watching the white pills fall into the mud pill palaces of the 3, Li Qijing withdrew his gaze, sat cross-legged, sank his energy, and entered a state of meditation, relying entirely on the magical reflection glass to refine. 81 strands of lunar essence had already been cultivated. On the day of the summer solstice, the weather heralds life. Solar brightness dissipates the darkness. It is exactly a good opportunity for a breakthrough. Li Qijing silently chanted the method in the great lunar breathing nourishing wheel scripture for condensing the profound scene wheel. The lunar essence leaped past the 12-story pavilion, gathering in the mud pill palace and condensing into liquid. Then it flowed down profusely, gathering into a clear pool in the energy sea acupoint. He let out a light shout. A bright silver arc of light, as if a moon in the water, emerged from the clear pool. This arc of light was crystal clear, resembling an extremely fine crescent moon. It was utterly beautiful. However, as time slowly flowed by, the profound scene wheel was delayed in truly settling down. This crescent moon was crystal clear and bright, gently drifting in the pool. The water sparkled brilliantly, drifting uncertainly, looking as though it could dissipate at any moment. Li Qijing was already exhausted at this moment, struggling to maintain the form of the profound scene wheel. Right when he was in a dilemma, the clear pool in his energy sea acupoint splashed open. A white talisman pill suddenly flew up. That talisman pill was perfectly round and dazzlingly bright, settling firmly onto that profound scene wheel. The translucent crescent moon instantly stabilized its form. The magical power in the clear pool also gradually stabilized. Li Qijing let out a long breath. He circulated his energy and concluded his practice. The profound scene was successfully achieved. The lunar essence spiritual energy in his body transformed into lunar essence magical power. Li Qijing had already become an immortal cultivator in the fetal breathing realm. He slowly opened his eyes, looked towards the magical reflection glass faintly discernible in the lunar halo on the table, and bowed deeply for bestowing the immortal method, condensing and refining the lunar essence, achieving the success of the profound scene. The Li family is overwhelmed with gratitude for the received grace. From now on, year after year, month after month, the incense will be continuous, and the sacrifices will not cease. Li Mutian stood quietly under the moonlight, gently looking at his youngest son. Li Qijing stood up and looked smilingly at his father, gently unrolling his left hand. I have already condensed the profound scene wheel. At the same time, Li Xiamping was the first to open his eyes. He smiled and stretched his back, got up, picked up the teapot on the tabletop, and took a heavy gulp. Father, I have successfully guided it. I obtained that nourishing will scripture and a spell art, called the water evading method. His voice had barely fallen when Li Tongya woke up from meditation. I obtained a spell art, called the evil dispelling art. Now, only Li Changhu is left. Lu Jiangxian looked Li Changhu up and down. This 3-inch white fine light, whether it is guiding or cultivating, is truly excessively strenuous for him. In the future, even if he cultivates day and night without sleep, it still wouldn't match others cultivating for 4 double hours a day. After a while, Li Changhu finally opened his eyes and said helplessly, I have also finished guiding it. The spell art I obtained is called the clothes purifying art. Seeing this, Li Xiamping hurriedly consoled his older brother. Successfully guiding it is a good thing. Now we 4 brothers can finally cultivate immortality together. Li Qijing walked over. Congratulations to brothers for all successfully guiding it. What needs to be done next is to follow the guidance of the incantation to begin quenching and refining the lunar essence. I had calculated while cultivating, absorbing lunar essence 81 times can refine 1 strand of lunar essence energy. After cultivating 81 strands of lunar essence, only then can one form the first wheel of the 6 fetal breathing wheels, the profound scene wheel. When I first started cultivating, I used 2 double hours just to absorb the lunar essence 3 times. Li Xiamping did the math. 3 times takes 2 double hours. 81 times would be 54 double hours. Cultivating for 6 double hours a day, it would take 9 days to refine a single strand of lunar essence energy. For 81 strands, it would take a full 2 years of time. This speed of absorbing lunar essence is simply too slow. I remember you said before, 4th brother, it wouldn't take a few days for you to cultivate 81 strands of lunar essence. Right when brothers were guiding the talisman seeds, I have already condensed the profound scene wheel. Hearing this, the 3 of them had faces full of shock. So fast? Do you still remember the trick I mentioned a few days ago? I discovered while cultivating that this reflection glass can actually freshly condensed lunar essence. If used to quench and refine lunar essence power, it is truly twice the result with half the effort. The few of them then suddenly realized this magical reflection glass truly has endless wondrous uses. Afterwards, Li Qijing took out a scroll of cloth from his bosom. I have already beforehand written down the spell art I obtained, the golden light art, on it, just waiting for my brothers to guide the talisman seeds and then comprehend it together. Li Xiangping proposed to transcribe the spell arts they obtained to make it convenient to pass around and read mutually in the future. At this time, Li Changwu patted Li Qijing's head, smilingly saying, I heard the books say that the human body has spiritual apertures. Once magical power runs through the body, one will know their locations. Can Li Qijing take a look for us? Li Qijing's gaze swept over his 3 older brothers and placed his left hand on the shoulder of the closest one, Li Xiangping. He closed his eyes and began searching for the spiritual apertures. He silently chanted the descriptions from the breathing method, circulating his magical power through Li Xiangping's meridians for a full cycle. After about the time it takes an incense stick to burn, he opened his eyes in shock. He froze for a moment, then hurriedly placed his hands on the shoulders of his 2 other brothers, probing with his magical power. How could there be none? Li Qijing's face was somewhat pale. He sat cross-legged on the spot, closed his eyes and entered meditation, letting magical power run completely through his entire body. There were indeed no so-called spiritual apertures. Even I don't have them. The great lunar breathing nourishing will scripture clearly states, spiritual apertures are the foundation of the great way. Regardless of what kind of immortal incantation or wondrous method, without spiritual apertures, there is no method to speak of. But this magical reflection glass unexpectedly can turn decay into magic, allowing even mortals to catch a glimpse of the immortal path. Li Qijing's state of mind fluctuated endlessly. With trembling lips, he softly said to Li Mutian, you were right. This magical reflection glass is also the disaster of our family's annihilation. Now, under Lu Jiangxin's guidance, the 4 sons of the Li family have all completed the guiding process. Li Qijing has even further condensed the profound scene wheel. Upon learning that the bronze mirror could let mortals catch a glimpse of the immortal path, Li Qijing stood up in terror. If any true cultivator learns of this object, not only will our bodies die and forms perish, our souls will be bound in the hands of others, and the entire Dawnstream village, and even the large and small villages along the entire ancient Dawn Road will be turned to ash and smoke. I have already refined the profound scene wheel. Magical power flows through my entire body, unless I cripple my cultivation base. Otherwise, those energy refining scholars will be unable to use magical power to probe the location of my spiritual apertures. Li Mutian took a sip of tea, looking at the few of them with a solemn expression. In the beginning, when Li Qijing could cultivate, I only thought it was because Li Qijing's innate talent was extraordinary. Han Wenxu once said, those possessing spiritual apertures are 1 in 1,000 miles. Perhaps Li Qijing was just that one. Looking at it now, this magical reflection glass is truly an extraordinary immortal object, able to turn decay into magic. Bestowing this talisman seed, even mortals can catch a glimpse of the immortal path. Li Mutian was silent for a long time, then spoke, from now on, disciples of my Li family, those who have been bestowed the profound pearl talisman seed, absolutely must not swagger through the streets before achieving the profound scene. The 4 sons of the Li family agreed in unison. After giving the instructions, Li Mutian planned to go take a look at the fields. The few of them also returned to their respective rooms to cultivate, absorbing lunar essence. 3 months later, Li Changwu jolted awake from meditation, gritting his teeth as he sat cross-legged again, calming his state of mind. Regarding his talent of a 3-inch white fine light, cultivating was indeed somewhat strenuous. Over here, Li Tongya had condensed more than 70 strands of lunar essence. Li Xiangping had already started attempting to condense the profound scene wheel. Only he, the condensed lunar essence, was still hovering around the single digits. When refining the lunar essence, not to mention during the daytime, even on nights when the moonlight was slightly poor, he couldn't even sense the lunar essence. The few strands of lunar essence he had now were still condensed by relying on the magical reflection glass. Li Changwu had a gloomy expression. Father let them take turns using the magical reflection glass to cultivate, but he knew himself that he had no talent on the path of immortal cultivation. Whenever it was his turn to rely on the magical reflection glass for cultivation, he felt incomparably guilty, consciously feeling that he was blocking his younger brother's path to the way. At this time, Li Mutian was in the backyard, bending over and polishing his long knife. Li Changwu firmed up his expression and spoke, I'm afraid I am not cut out for immortal cultivation. Li Mutian raised his head, staring at him coldly. Then are you just not going to cultivate? Li Changwu already had an answer in his heart. It's not that I won't cultivate. My talent is far inferior to Li Tongya and Li Xiangping, not to mention Li Qijing. Relying on the magical reflection glass just to barely cultivate, I'd be better off helping father organize the family business during the day, taking walks through the fields, so as not to make people suspicious. After Li Mutian considered it over and over, he shook his head and said, forget about tomorrow then. You go prepare for Li Xiangping's wedding affairs. Remember not to be too ostentatious. Just invite some relatives and handle it low-key. Rinpinger was sitting in the corridor courtyard, sewing clothes, while chatting with Tianyun. Tianyun, seeing Li Changhu come out, and that the husband and wife seemed to have words to say, smiled and found an excuse. Returning to the Tian family home, Li Changhu saw his wife, and his features softened considerably. Looking at her, he asked softly. Renpinger's appearance was dignified and grand. Her features carried a hint of joy, and she said in a low voice, "I am pregnant." Li Changhu was quite startled. The depression and irritation in his mind vanished without a trace. His face flushed slightly as he repeatedly inquired with excitement. Renpinger nodded shyly. Li Changhu laughed heartily, endlessly joyous. He hurriedly shouted and walked towards the backyard to tell his father this good news, only to hear a clash of iron. Li Mutian immediately dropped his knife and hurriedly walked to the main courtyard, asking with an excited expression, "What did you say?" "Boy, Renpinger is pregnant." Li Mutian laughed heartily, said to Li Changhu, "I will go invite the teacher. You watch over her carefully." Li Changhu nodded repeatedly, told Renpinger to sit down, and carefully began to inquire about her well-being. Li Xiangping reached out and picked up the wooden slip. He unrolled it. Under the bright and clear moonlight, the few large characters at the head of the scroll were clearly visible. It was precisely the spell art obtained by Li Qijing, the Golden Light Art. This Golden Light Art is an art of offensive killing and protecting the way. Forming hand seals and casting the spell can condense a ray of golden light, exceptionally sharp. The golden light can be attached to knives and swords to attack and kill enemies, or it can be flung out and thrown. Its power is particularly considerable, only to see that on the surface of the bluestone appeared a blade mark that was neither deep nor shallow. The great lunar breathing nourishing will scripture described that, upon stepping into the fetal breathing realm, one's lifespan would be 120 years. Magical power flows through the apertures and meridians, making the body light, strength great, ears sharp, and eyes bright, forming hand seals to cast spells, separating them from ordinary mortals. At this time, Li Tongya, who had long awakened from meditation, smilingly said to Li Xiangping, "Among the incantations we obtained, the golden light art obtained by Li Qijing is the most useful. A few days ago he cast a spell and chopped the artificial rockery in the backyard askew, and didn't even dare to tell father." Li Xiangping twitched his mouth. Speaking of cultivation, we are truly inferior to Li Qijing. Li Qijing entered the profound scene in less than a month. Even though he had the assistance of the magical reflection glass, it is still far too astonishing. Li Xiangping sat next to his second brother, reciting the descriptions in the nourishing will scripture, drawing energy to refine essence, reaching the profound scene in 9 months, breathing and exhaling, reaching bearing light in 3 months. This is called having excellent root bones. We relied on foreign objects to cultivate, so the standard of reaching the profound scene in 9 months cannot be counted. However, this reaching bearing light in 3 months can very well be borrowed for a comparison. Li Tongya nodded slightly and said in a low voice, "But big brother, big brother is afraid to be even worse than you and me. I will regulate my breathing for a few more days, and then I can attempt to condense the profound scene wheel. If I succeed, the magical reflection glass can be fully provided for big brother's cultivation." Right at this moment, Li Xiangping suddenly discovered someone in the back mountain outside the courtyard. He stood up abruptly, shouting loudly, "Thief! How bold!" Last year, Li Yesheng's father died. The family's fields and property all went to him, the eldest son. He was truly so delighted, eating grilled skewers heartily outside a small shop. This money is spent too fast, but it doesn't matter anyway. Right at this moment, his younger brother Li Yesheng came looking for him, panting heavily. "Just now someone else came to look at our family's fields, saying they had already negotiated with you, and will buy it away in a few days." Li Yesheng was unconcerned. "I sold it. After father died, he only left us these 2 pieces of land. You've sold them all now. How will we live in the future?" Hearing this, Li Yesheng was very displeased, and wanted to teach Li Yesheng a lesson, but facing the pointing and gossiping of the neighbors, he had no choice but to drop it. Just as he pushed Li Yesheng away, he suddenly noticed that Li Changhu was talking and laughing with a tenant. He felt secretly displeased in his heart. Didn't he just have a good reincarnation? "We are all surnamed Li. Why are you the direct line and I am the concubine-born branch? Why did you buy fertile fields and build high courtyards? Just a large household in the village. Why put on the heirs to build a large estate? As if there are so many treasures in the courtyard." Li Yesheng instantly had a sudden realization, recalling the night a few years ago, the nervous expressions of the few people and the knife in Li Mutian's hands. Li Mutian has a treasure. Now there are many people and mixed eyes. It is not easy to act. I'll go check out that large estate at night. The night had already grown deep. Li Yesheng stealthily sneaked towards the Li family's large estate. After circling around the courtyard, Li Yesheng hadn't even seen a single crack in the wall. Moreover, this wall surface was built flat and smooth, making it very difficult to climb over. This further verified his guess. There must definitely be some shady business in this large estate. Very quickly, Li Yesheng thought he could go to the back mountain to look, so he took off running towards the back mountain. In the Li family's main courtyard, Li Changhu looked at the one sitting in front of the stone table, Li Tongya, who was flipping through the incantations, asking with doubt, "Why don't I see Li Xiangping?" Li Tongya slowly rolled up the wooden slip, looked at his big brother and spoke. He went to busy himself with some matters. "Li Tongya, have you started preparing preparing to condense the profound scene wheel? In a few more days, I can condense 81 strands of lunar essence. We are far inferior to Li Qijing. I always feel the need to wait a little longer, to prepare for a few more days. At this time, Li Tongya very seriously stared at his big brother Li Changhu and asked, "Big brother, who among the four of us do you think resembles father the most?" Li Changhu blurted out, "Naturally it is you. I am too gentle and generous. Li Xiangping is too active. Li Qijing is too studious. Only you, Li Tongya, are calm and composed, maintaining your composure. You resemble him the most." Li Tongya gave a few dry laughs, waving his hand. "Big brother, stop flattering me. In my opinion, among us four brothers, Li Xiangping resembles him the most." Li Changhu looked at his younger brother with doubt. "Why is it Li Xiangping? When we were playing in the courtyard as children, father once said, when first beheading someone, one might have ringing ears and a hot head, losing all sense of advance and retreat, or tremble unsteadily, unable to control oneself, or roar endlessly, not knowing what heaven and earth are. Only he, Li Mutian, when first beheading someone, sheathed his knife and drank wine, talking and laughing naturally. Li Xiangping resembles father the most, because he is sufficiently cruel. The great Dawn Mountain twists and stretches endlessly." Li Yesheng pushed aside the bushes, climbed along the small path for half a quarter hour, and found a protruding spot with an open field of vision in the mountains. He laid down his body and looked towards the small courtyard down the mountain. He rubbed his eyes, and saw two people in the courtyard sitting cross-legged, not knowing exactly what they were doing. Suddenly, Li Yesheng saw golden light flash around Li Qijing, feeling it was quite uncanny. "I heard there are stone locks placed in that courtyard. Could it be that Li Mutian obtained martial arts combat methods outside, and secretly taught those few brats? If that Li Mutian truly obtained martial arts combat methods, who knows if it was passed down from our ancestors? I, Li Yesheng, am also of the Li family. Why can't I get a share? If it really is martial arts combat methods, he would be too lazy to practice them. Selling them for money could let me live freely for quite a few days." When he looked down towards the courtyard again, there was already not a single shadow left. Li Yesheng didn't pay it any mind either, stood up and prepared to go home. Who knew that as soon as he turned his head, he saw a figure standing quietly on the mountain path, scaring Li Yesheng so much he wet himself, rolling and crawling to hide behind a tree. When he poked his head out to look, why, this person was unexpectedly his younger cousin Li Xiangping. His eyes were ruthless, without saying a single word, only seeing Li Xiangping form hand seals, the golden light shining incomparably in his hands. In the next second, a dazzling ray of golden light emerged before Li Yesheng's eyes, a burst of intense pain in his throat, and then he fell to the ground in agony. Li Xiangping slowly walked to the side of the corpse, pondered for a moment, formed hand seals to cast a spell again, calling out a ray of golden light, and disposed of it. After finishing all this, Li Xiangping stood up and looked around. In the shadows among the woods, quite a few more eyes had already appeared. Li Xiangping clapped his hands. "Gentlemen, enjoy your meal." Li Mutian was sitting in front of the door looking at the moon last night, when he saw Li Xiangping rushing wildly towards the back mountain. Unable to put his heart at ease, he quietly followed behind the child up the back mountain. At this time, Li Mutian suddenly discovered that someone was actually tailing him from behind. He immediately drew his sharp knife, turned around, and thrust towards the person behind him. Fortunately, under the moonlight, he saw the person's face clearly. It turned out to unexpectedly be the second son, Li Tongya. Li Mutian told him not to make a sound. The two tacitly watched Li Xiangping eliminate Li Yesheng. After going down the mountain and returning home, Li Tongya consoled. Li Xiangping also did it for the family's safety. "Father need not be angry." "I am not angry. The silly boy did well in beheading that piece of trash. If he had merely frightened him, I would have jumped down and chopped that trash myself. If you want to talk about being angry, I am angry at that Li Changhu. Even for such a small matter, he has to let his younger brother do it for him. How can I be at ease with future matters?" Li Tongya let out a long sigh, then said, "Big brother is generous and kind-hearted. The villagers and tenants all revere and submit to him endlessly. He is capable of protecting the family business." Li Mutian slapped the house pillar, his face showing a bit more anger. "Who they respect is me, Li Mutian. Crowding around your brother is just because Li Changhu's rent is low. These people have always feared authority but held no gratitude for virtue. Look at his appearance. If I, Li Mutian, die today, tomorrow Li Yesheng would dare to come to our door and throw a tantrum. Would that Li Changhu dare to make a move? In the past, I was not afraid, because I had you two brothers. Li Changhu being generous is the best thing possible, applying both grace and authority. The future is promising, but it is different now. The Li family bears the guilt of hoarding a treasure, treading on thin ice. If the person in charge is not ruthless enough, we will easily be destroyed. Soon it will be the joyous day of Li Xiangping and Tianyun. Once we are done being busy with this period, I will go find Li Changhu for a good talk." Li Changhu went to the Tian family and settled the many matters of the marriage contract. Sitting blankly in the field, his expression was complex, recalling his younger brother's low shout last night, and Li Tongya's hint. Li Changhu knew that Li Yesheng had most likely already been eliminated by Li Xiangping. A burst of pain arose in his heart, recalling when they were young, the three of them would always go down to the river together to catch fish. He vaguely remembered Li Yesheng holding a large green fish, shouting smilingly, Big brother, Li Tongya clearly envied him endlessly, yet would always turn his head away and pout, refusing to look at him. The three of them spent a happy childhood together just like that, even though after his aunt died of illness and third uncle was bedridden. Li Yesheng's temperament drastically changed in just a few short months, but his crimes did not warrant this. Li Changhu felt that if he had tried to persuade him again back then to let Li Yesheng learn to be good again and earnestly protected his younger brother, it wouldn't have turned out like it is today. At this time, a white-haired old farmer behind Li Changhu awakened him. He hurriedly lowered his head and wiped the corners of his eyes. Uncle Su, is there still enough grain at home to eat? Enough. Ever since old man Su's eldest son fell ill, he was the only one in the family who could work the fields. He couldn't even plant the fields completely. The kind-hearted Li Changhu not only reduced the rent for his family, but also sent over some grain. Li Changhu held old man Su's hands and said, "By all means, do not stand on ceremony. Father even instructed me a few days ago to take more care of Uncle Su's fields." Old man Su cupped his hands in obeisance to Li Changhu. "Thank the family head profusely for me. This favor, Uncle Su's family accepts." "How can you speak of accepting favors? It is what should be done." Neither two chatted in the fields. Li Xiangping, however, carried a cloth bag to the edge of the reed marshes, silently watching Li Yesheng sitting on the bank. Li Yesheng was counting on his fingers, talking to himself. "The day before yesterday I went to third uncle's place. The day before that, I went to eldest uncle's place. Fourth uncle kicked me out yesterday. As for today, I can only boil some wild vegetables, catch some small shrimp, and boil them into soup to drink." At this time, Li Xiangping came to his side, smilingly taking out a white steamed bun from the cloth bag. Handing it over into his hands, Li Yesheng hurriedly took it and began wolfing it down. "Brother is the best to me." Li Xiangping's expression was somewhat complex. Opening the cloth bag, inside were the reading materials from when he began his schooling. He told Li Yesheng to read them more often when herding ducks. Li Yesheng was endlessly moved. "Thank you, brother. In a few days I will go beg father to have him speak with the teacher. Ordinarily, when you have nothing to do, go to his place to read more books. If there are areas of doubt, you can very well ask us." Li Yesheng was both pleasantly surprised and anxious, repeatedly declining. "How could I accept this? I heard that studying requires paying tuition meet. My older brother won't give me any money." Li Xiangping lowered his head, saying indifferently, "Between us, there's no need for these formalities. I will go beg father, which counts as paying it for you." Li Yesheng still wanted to say something. Looking at Li Xiangping's plain expression, a wave of reverence and awe rose in his heart. Brother Li Xiangping really resembles eldest uncle. When leaving, Li Xiangping didn't forget to invite Li Yesheng to come feast at his and Tianyan's wedding in a few days. The scene moves to a few days later. Today is the joyous day of Li Xiangping. He finally married the girl he loved. Li Yesheng also came to the back kitchen early to gorge on food. On the Li family's joyous day, family head Li Mutian was offering incense in the ancestral hall. He always had some uneasiness in his heart, so he said to Li Tongya, "Although I shouldn't say these things on Li Xiangping's joyous day, my heart has always been anxious and uneasy these past few days. I am only afraid that a disaster is imminent." Inside the ancestral hall, the moonlight shone on the bronze mirror, emitting sparkling bright lights. Lu Jianxian inside the mirror couldn't help but sigh. Time truly flies so fast. The third son of the Li family has already taken a wife. These past few months, Lu Jianxian completely absorbed the power of the jade. He was already able to use the minor illusion spell from the Nourishing Wheel scripture to communicate with the Li family members. Lu Jianxian originally wanted to congratulate Li Xiangping, but after careful consideration, felt the timing was not yet ripe. Speaking up at this time would not only require fabricating some background history, but also answering the Li family members' bellies full of doubts, pointlessly adding a body full of flaws. Those majestic auras flying above the ancient Dawn Road, every single one of them made Lu Jianxian feel like he had thorns in his back. Wanting to survive in this world, he should still be a bit more cautious. At least lay low for 100 years or so before saying anything. Although the Li family mentally filled in Lu Jianxian as an immortal artifact magic reflection glass, he actually had no combat power. The second layer of fetal breathing, the bearing light wheel, was his baseline, and the fourth layer of fetal breathing, the green origin wheel, was his absolute ceiling. Fortunately, nowadays Lu Jianxian's spiritual sense range was more than enough to cover the entire Li family. Ordinarily he would just sleep, and when he woke up, he treated it as watching a TV drama series, which was also quite cozy. It's just that, why would there be refugees coming on the ancient Dawn Road? Just as the marriage affairs of Li Xiangping and Tianyun were finished these past few days, Li Changmu spared some time to cultivate, but he saw a Li family tenant hurriedly come to report, saying a group of refugees had arrived at the village entrance. Li Changmu was puzzled. The climate has been good these past few years, and the Eyebrow Ruler River is good at nourishing people. It doesn't seem like there are any families unable to survive along the upper and lower river basins. How could there possibly be refugees? That tenant hurriedly answered. They claim to have come down from the ancient Dawn Road and have already been gathered at the village entrance for some time. The person in charge of the Lu family has already gone over. He came to inform family head Li Mutian. Li Changmu considered it for a few breaths. breaths, and waved his hand. Father has already fallen asleep. There is no need to trouble him. Call upon Uncle Tian and Uncle Ren. Let's go take a look. By the time Li Changhu walked to the village entrance, the person in charge of Dawnstream Village's other large household, the Lu family, Lu Linfeng, was already waiting at the village entrance, dangling a dry pipe from his mouth. Li Changhu hurriedly asked Lu Linfeng what the situation was right now. These refugees are talking all at once, and I couldn't hear clearly either. So Lu Linfeng stepped forward to inquire, is there a leading person among the refugees? If not, choose someone in charge to come out, so everyone can discuss together what to do next. Li Changhu also stood out. Let's explain everything clearly, so we can also think of a way for you. Li Changhu and Lu Linfeng shouted a few times, but these refugees all remained silent. Suddenly, a person in the crowd raised his hand and shouted. This humble one was originally the person in charge of a merchant caravan on the Summer Dawn Road. The nation of Valiance to the south conquered Well Summer City, causing weapons and soldiers to rise up all along the Summer Dawn Road, leaving neither chickens nor dogs in peace. We were robbed on the road and mixed among the refugees to escape here. This humble one is untalented, yet still hopes you two can take us in, being recommended by the crowd to speak and handle matters. Lu Linfeng asked doubtfully, this section of the ancient Dawn Road has been out of repair for years, and wild beasts run rampant. You guys just came over like this? That middle-aged man said heavily. Naturally, quite a few people died. The elderly and the children all died out. The representatives of the two large households were inquiring into the other party's background. Old Man Su in the crowd was carrying a woven grass cricket in one hand, holding a hoe in the other hand, squinting his eyes to size up the refugees, waiting for Li Changhu to finish discussing the matters, so he could give this grass cricket to his unborn child to take back. At this time, Old Man Su was suddenly attracted by a youth among the refugees. This youth, draped in a torn cloth garment, wearing a wrap of animal skin around his waist, with eyes burning like they carried flames, stared fixedly at Li Changhu and Lu Linfeng at the head. Old Man Su stroked his pale beard, feeling that these pupils were incredibly familiar. Lu Linfeng settled the refugees down, took a step forward, and opened his mouth to shout, everyone, please listen to me. I am the clan head of the Lu family in the village. Dawnstream Village still has a large amount of wasteland available for reclamation. If everyone is willing, my Lu family can supply everyone with grain and tools for this year. The reclaimed land will be considered rented to everyone by my Lu family, and we will only collect 30% rent. Li Changhu similarly stood out and expressed that his Li family would do the same. When the youth among the refugees heard these words, he violently turned his head, staring fixedly at Li Changhu's face. After staring for a few seconds, he quickly lowered his head in satisfaction. Old Man Su over here exerted the strength of 9 bulls and 2 tigers, and only then squeezed to the front of the crowd, carefully sizing up the refugees. Yet he couldn't find that youth no matter what. Turning his head to look, that youth had already squeezed to the very front position among the refugees. The distance to where Li Changhu and Lu Linfeng were standing was only a few body lengths away. The middle-aged man standing bowed beside the two of them glanced at him, wondering in his heart, what incredibly sharp pupils. There is actually such a figure among the refugees, eating and living together for a full 3 months. I unexpectedly have never seen this person. Lu Linfeng was warning everyone, you can stay in Dawnstream Village, drink wine, eat meat, marry, and have children. The only thing you cannot do is harm people and commit evil. Suddenly, that youth from just now lunged forward, knelt before Li Changhu, and began weeping and sobbing. This lowly one's entire family suffered from the weapons of soldiers. Only this lowly one managed to escape, trekking thousands of miles just to meet the two lords who took us in. This lowly one is endlessly grateful. How would I dare to do those shameless things here? He cried truly heartbreakingly, and the refugees behind him were also reminded of their sad affairs, bursting into loud wails one after another. For a time, cries covered the ground. Lu Linfeng also couldn't help but be moved. Li Changhu looked at the youth kneeling on the ground with pity, stepped half a pace forward, and bent down to help him up. Old Man Su, however, looked at the ankle exposed by the youth's kneeling, with a few black moles distributed on the ankle joint. A sense of familiarity ready to burst out emerged in his mind. Time returns to that afternoon more than 20 years ago. At that time, Old Man Su was still a tenant at the Yuan family. He saw a woman holding a child come to the fields, and on that child's ankle joint, there were precisely a few moles distributed. Old Man Su bowed his body and flatteringly spoke auspicious words. Looking at this mole on the child's foot, he will definitely be able to achieve great things. Thinking of this, Old Man Su instantly felt that things were disastrously wrong. Tilting his head back and glaring his eyes, he roared angrily. Who knew that right at this moment? That youth had already abruptly raised his head. That pair of ferocious and sharp, almost beast-like pupils glared viciously at Li Changhu, unexpectedly holding a sharp dagger in his hand. Before Li Changhu could even react, that youth's dagger had already thrust out, piercing straight into Li Changhu's throat. Li Changhu didn't understand even until his death how he, out of a good heart, kindly rescued the refugees, but ultimately fell in a pool of blood. He wasn't even able to see his own unborn child. How many people were heartbroken and shed tears this night? That kind-hearted, respectful of elders, loving of his wife, eldest son of the Li family, family who always thought of his brothers in every way was just killed by the remnant of his enemies like this. When Li Changhu fell heavily to the ground, Tian Shoshui, who was standing behind, let out a heart-tearing, lung-splitting explosive roar. His eyes glared blood-red, the blue veins on his head bulging out one by one, reaching out to grab that youth. After that youth's strike succeeded, taking advantage of the gap when everyone rushed to help Li Changhu, he crashed into the crowd of refugees without a stop, ultimately disappearing without a trace. Everyone reacted one after another. That middle-aged man was firmly pinned to the corner of the wall by the villagers, wailing and shouting. It truly has nothing to do with this lowly one. This lowly one does not know that youth. He mixed in on the road. In the chaos, Lu Linfeng let out a loud shout, telling him to shut up. Looking at the dying nephew in his arms, his mind was a chaotic mess. Li Changhu died just like this. Just died in vain right in front of me like this. How am I supposed to explain this to my younger sister? How am I supposed to explain this to that Li Mutian? Rinpingen slumped onto the ground. Rinpinger just got pregnant after marrying Li Changhu, and Li Changhu is just gone like this. The child I watched grow up just left like this. Old man Su stood trembling in place. His old tears flowed freely, his hands tightly gripping the grass cricket he had prepared to bring to Li Changhu, painfully clutching his chest. You beast! This old man outlived his wife, watched the master family get wiped out, and has seen more figures than the meat you, a wild wolf, have ever eaten. Just you wait. This old man will come meet you. On the ground, Li Changhu kept his eyes open, looking at the sky, his consciousness gradually blurring. Rinpinger, I can no longer accompany you and the child. Li Xiamping, I have to turn your red joyous event into a white mourning event. I have to go first. In the midst of a chaotic mess, in a place unseen by the crowd, a silver light quietly flew up from his dantian, dragging a tail like a baby swallow throwing itself into an embrace. It rushed towards the sky, spinning round and round, circling once, and flew towards the Li family's backyard. Lu Jianxian inside the ancestral hall sighed silently. When Li Changhu was assassinated, he had woken up, but the village entrance was truly separated too far away, and he was also powerless to do anything. He could only helplessly watch everything happen, looking at the silver light circling by the mirror edge like a butterfly. As long as his mind stirred, this talisman seed could transform into pure essence to nourish his divine soul. It was just that Li Changhu had not cultivated into the profound scene, so the benefit of the talisman seed was very small. Ultimately, Lu Jianxian reversed the incantation, relying on the profound pearl spirit sacrificing art to urge the spiritual consciousness inside this talisman seed. Streaks of magical power extracted from the talisman seed emerged in the courtyard, extending towards the Li family members in the courtyard. Li Mutian had lain down for more than a double hour before drowsily falling asleep, but he saw moonlight pouring like water from the windows and door cracks. Eldest son Li Changhu was standing by the bed quietly looking at him. Li Mutian, with a hoarse voice, asked his eldest son, "What happened?" Li Changhu pursed his lips and didn't speak, carefully staring at Li Mutian's face, as if to firmly memorize him. Li Mutian coughed forcefully a few times, frowning. Li Changhu, what happened? Li Changhu, however, bent over and respectfully bowed to his father. As soon as the words fell, Li Changhu's figure scattered and fluttered in the wind like gravel. The moonlight slowly dimmed. Li Mutian was extremely uneasy. He reached out to grab, continuously calling out, "Child, speak." He abruptly woke up from the bed with a start, and blankly looked out the window. In the side room, can one also dream while cultivating? Li Qijing opened his eyes with a face full of tear streaks. He got up and walked out of the room, and saw Li Tongya sitting by the wooden table. Seeing his younger brother come out, Li Tongya hurriedly wiped clean the tear streaks on his face, squeezed out a smiling face and asked. Li Qijing, however, blankly looked at his older brother. "Where is big brother?" "Big brother, he was called out early in the morning by the tenants. Probably there is some matter in the fields." At this time, Li Mutian came out from the room with a face full of uneasiness. "Go call your big brother back." "Never mind, I will go personally." Li Mutian hurriedly ran towards the front courtyard. When he opened the courtyard door, he couldn't help but freeze. Outside the door was unexpectedly surrounded by a large circle of villagers, all holding torches and shedding tears. Below the stone steps knelt 3 people, with something covered by a white cloth laid out. Looking at the ashamed and mournful expressions of Tian Shoshui and Rinpingen, the uneasiness in Li Mutian's heart reached its extreme. What happened here? With trembling hands, he walked down the steps, pushed aside Lu Linfeng, who came forward shedding tears to support him, and gently lifted the white cloth. Lying inside was exactly his eldest son, Li Changhu. Li Mutian's vision went black. He almost fainted dead away. The few brothers who followed him out from behind also had uneasy expressions. Li Qijing stepped forward to take a look, and with a thud, knelt on the ground. His mouth cried out mournfully. Li Qijing abruptly raised his head, sobbing and shedding tears as he looked at the surrounding villagers, and shouted sternly, "Who was it? Who dared to kill my big brother?" This stern shout was like a tiger's roar, startling the crowd so much they all stepped back a few paces, looking at him trembling with fear. This 4th son is probably not someone easy to deal with either. The leading good deer is dead, leaving behind 3 vicious wolves. The older ones are crafty, the younger one is fierce. Within 10 years, this Don Dawnstream Village will definitely become the absolute domain of the Li family. The crowd paused for a few breaths, but heard someone reply in a low voice. Li Changhu was killed by a refugee. Li Xiangping held back his tears and knelt beside Li Changhu, turning his head to look at Tian Shoushui. Uncle Tian, what exactly happened? It is most likely that remnant of the Yuan family. Li Mutian squeezed out a few words from between his teeth. He looked at Tian Shoushui, who lowered his head in shame and remained silent, glared at the surrounding villagers, and shouted, Li Tongya. Hearing the words, Li Tongya wiped away his tears, stood out, and cupped his hands in obeisance to the villagers. Tonight we have disturbed everyone. Please disperse first. There is no need to linger here. After saying that, he bowed his body and helped Lu Linfeng up, and whispered in his ear, I also request Uncle to first lead people to control those refugees, to prevent anyone from taking advantage of the chaos to cause trouble. We will arrive shortly. Looking at her motionless husband, Renpinger had long cried until she lost her voice. Tian Yun and Madame Lu held back their tears. One took care of her, the other hurriedly went to find the teacher. Renpingen, go check on Madame Ren. Tian Shoushui, you first go watch the refugees together with that Lu Linfeng. Without my Li family expressing our stance, he is probably also bound hand and foot, with no outsiders in the backyard, leaving only the few brothers of the Li family. Li Mutian finally could no longer restrain himself, and like an injured lone wolf, sat beside his eldest son and wailed in a low voice. At the third watch of midnight, Dawnstream Village was in a state of chaos. Old Man Su, supporting himself with a hoe alone, walked to the back mountain, following the small path twisting and turning. Looking among the overgrown weeds, a continuous expanse of clustered tombs appeared before his eyes. Old Man Su stopped and looked closely, and sure enough, a youth in ragged clothes, draped with a beast skin garment around his waist, was sitting leisurely beside a small tombstone in the corner. With his legs spread apart, he was saying something. When Old Man Su walked out, the youth keenly raised his head and looked. Seeing that the newcomer was just an honest and simple old farmer, he smiled, tilted his head, and spoke. Where did you come from, old man? Old Man Su didn't answer him, then tremblingly shuffled to the front. Immediately following that, he knelt beside the tomb. This old servant is old and weak in body, unable to exact a deep blood vengeance against that Li family. Fortunately, the heavens have eyes. A righteous hero of the martial world took action, and today the great vengeance has been exacted. May the family head rest in peace in the netherworld. When that youth listened carefully, his heart instantly stirred. Righteous hero of the martial world, do you know over these 22 years, how many straw stacks I have stabbed into tatters? How many nights of hatred I have suppressed, to finally exchange for this single fatal strike? Now that the great vengeance has been slightly exacted, my heart is extremely delighted. I have tens of thousands of words I want to pour out, yet there is unexpectedly not a single person beside me to share the joy and delight. I might as well chat with this old man, and kill him before I leave. Wouldn't that be the best of both worlds? Thinking of this, the youth smiled and spoke. You come to this Yuan family tomb to cry and complain. Aren't you afraid the Li family will seek trouble with you? Old Man Su wiped his tears and said, Young master, this old man does not have much time left. The youth was startled, and thought secretly in his heart, could it be that this old man saw me at the head of the village? Better just kill him and flee. Save the extra trouble. The main wife often held the young master and sat in the fields. Therefore I recognize the young master. This old man still remembers to this day that you have 3 black moles on your foot, which can serve as proof. That youth froze for a moment, and hurriedly asked, Then do you remember my mother's appearance? Naturally I remember. Subsequently, Old Man Su pulled out a tree branch from the straw stack, and carefully began to draw. That youth was endlessly excited, yet constantly lowered his head to look gloomily at Old Man Su. In his heart, he felt he should still just kill him, but just as he was about to make a move, after seeing the portrait Old Man Su drew, he suddenly stopped. The youth flipped over, knelt on the ground, and looked. Seeing those facial features that were vaguely in his dreams, he instantly began weeping softly. 22 years of grievances and suppression entirely surged into his heart, and he couldn't help but shed tears like a flowing spring. It really is mother's appearance. Old Man Su sighed mournfully from the side, continuously speaking of the main wife's goodness. For a time, the youth could not hold back his tears even more. This old man still remembers the appearances of the master family members. Let me draw them for you. After hearing Old Man Su's words, the youth already believed him 80%. He wiped his tears, and without even raising his head, agreed. Old Man Su was raising his hoe to loosen the soil to draw, his eyes emitting a ruthless intent. That hoe was raised high. The bright silver hoe blade flashed lightly under the moonlight, and slammed down fiercely, smashing straight towards the youth's neck, taking advantage of him falling to the ground. Another strike with the hoe landed squarely on the youth's head, completely depriving him of breath. Old Man Su was not at ease, and randomly smashed more than a dozen times. Only then did he finally lose all his strength, sat his buttocks on the ground, reached out his withered hands to cover his face, and wailed in agony. What a wicked karmic affinity. Dawnstream Village was in an uproar until late last night. Yet at cockcrow, the villagers had all risen. The Lu and Li families distributed some dry rations, and the refugees huddled at the village entrance eating. That leading middle-aged man was burdened with worry, looking at the more than 20 people beside him. Now they truly had unspeakable bitterness, having killed the other party's person in charge, let alone staying. They couldn't even leave now. Who could have expected that at this time? Someone among the refugees suddenly shouted, "There is someone on the road. Look at that old man." They only saw old man Su's clothes stained with blood spots, his left hand struggling to drag a bloody corpse. Those with sharp eyes recognized the clothing on that corpse. It was that assassin from last night. Seeing old man Su approaching, the people on both sides hurriedly backed away one after another, making a path. Old man Su, however, was pale-faced, taking steps with soulless eyes, not paying attention to the crowd around him, walking on his own. By the time he shuffled to the front of the Li family courtyard at the end of the village, tenants had already gone to report the news. The Li family members opened the courtyard door. Li Mutian, with a tired expression, a group of family members to welcome him at the door. "Uncle Su, what is this you are? That remnant of the Yuan family was killed by me. The corpse and head are all here. Call that Lu Linfeng and Tian Shoushui to identify him." Li Mutian hurriedly told Li Xiangping to go call people to identify the corpse, and told Li Tongya to go fetch a cup of tea. "Uncle Su, come drink a mouthful of tea." Before long, Lu Linfeng and Tian Shoushui rushed over. "It is indeed that assassin who committed the murder yesterday." Hearing this, Li Mutian's eyes instantly brimmed with hot tears. Li Qijing said with red eyes, "Uncle Su, Big Brother's great vengeance has been exacted. The Li family is endlessly grateful." Old man Su struggled to wave his hand. "You do not need to thank me. I received the grace and virtue of Li Changwu, so I killed this person for him. I will absolutely not use this favor to scheme for your Li family's wealth and honor. This old man does not have many years left to live. If you truly have the heart to express your thanks, then wait until that child is born, and bring him to see me." The Li family's mourning affairs were held for a few days. White cloths and plain weaves were hung all over the courtyard. The three younger brothers cried until they lost their voices. On the day of the funeral procession, Li Mutian even carried the coffin personally. Li Changwu was generous and kind to people during his life, and righteous in his conduct. Thus every household had sounds of weeping. A few months later, Li Pinger stood outside the house looking at the moon high in the sky, and thought again of her kind-hearted husband. Tears couldn't help but flow from her eyes. The fetus in her womb was finally born. The four members of the Li family were all anxiously waiting outside the house. At this time, Tianyan suddenly pushed open the house door, and shouted loudly, "Sister-in-law has given birth. It is a baby boy." The crowd instantly broke into joyous smiles. Subsequently, Li Mutian said to Li Xiangping behind him, "Li Xiangping, previously I told you to find a few lines of incantation from that guiding method to serve as the generational sequence for the Li family from now on. Do you have any results?" I have pondered for a few days, and picked out 3 sentences describing the fetal breathing method from the book. Profound scene abyss clarity, dawn moon bearing light, circulating journey crimson watchtower, a then speaking green origin, jade capital reflecting image, only seeing spirit initial. Not bad, not bad. Li Xiangping, from now on, your descendants will take their names from this profound scene. Boys will take profound, girls will take scene, and so on and so forth. After a long time, Li Pinger walked out holding the newborn child. Arriving, "Have you thought of a name for this child?" "I have already followed your instructions, and chosen a name for the child, Li Xianxian." 2 years later, the clear and bright morning sunlight cast upon a few sparse small trees in the courtyard, yet sitting cross-legged under the tree was a handsome young man, focusing all his attention on swallowing and exhaling energy. Before long, a boy holding a few wild flowers hopped and skipped, running into the backyard. Li Qijing smiled and gently reached out his hands to hold him, lifting that child high up. Has Li Xianxian been obediently listening to words today? That child ignored him, giggling and laughing, twisting and turning in Li Qijing's hands. Rin Pinger didn't dare to enter the backyard, shouting in a low voice at the courtyard gate, "Come out quickly, don't disturb your uncle's cultivation." Placing the child on the ground, looking smilingly as he hopped and skipped, throwing himself into his mother's embrace, Li Qijing gently opened his mouth. This circulating journey wheel is truly hard to cultivate. A full year and a half of time, and it is finally about to be completed. You are so hard to satisfy. We have only cultivated the bearing light wheel, and haven't even touched the corners of the circulating journey wheel. Yet you complain that cultivation is too slow, wasting your time. Li Qijing chuckled. Tonight I can start condensing the circulating journey wheel, so you guys can see what it means to have magical power circulating. Circulating journey endlessly. You child. At this time, Li Mutian walked into the backyard with his hands behind his back. This child Li Xianxian is truly naughty. Li Tongya smiled and shook his head. It is actually because father dotes on him too much. Ever since Big Brother passed away, father had constantly lost his appetite for food and tea, and was endlessly exhausted. It seemed as if he had aged 10 years in an instant. Fortunately, the birth of Li Xianxian allowed father to pull himself together again. Today, Li Mutian called them here, because he had a matter to discuss with them. I want to let Li Yesheng stay by my side to learn more. Li Tongya lowered his head and pondered for a few breaths, and spoke. That is actually a good idea. Li Yesheng is all alone in the world, and is exceptionally close to our family. We need to cultivate incantations, and breathe spiritual energy, so we have no time to manage those worldly miscellaneous affairs. This Li Yesheng is also also of the Li family's bloodline. It couldn't be more suitable. Li Qijing frowned and inquired. I only fear that as time goes on, this person will develop selfish motives and commit deeds of lining his own pockets. Li Mutian spoke with a tough tone. I can still live for another 10 years. At least I can still suppress him. When 10 years pass and the grandchildren's generation also grows up, how could it ever be his turn to have improper thoughts? At this time, Li Xiangping replied indifferently. Managing people still requires equal emphasis on grace and authority. Wait until he, Li Yesheng, marries and has children. Everything will be easy to handle. 10 years of immoral cultivation truly makes people full of expectations. The moonlight was bright and clean. Li Qijing was sitting cross-legged in the courtyard, condensing his energy and sinking his spirit, beginning to condense the third wheel, the circulating journey wheel. Li Tongya and Li Xiangping were guarding him from the side. The great lunar breathing nourishing wheel scripture mentioned that the human body is infinitely profound, possessing 12 meridians, in the upper, middle, and lower 3 dantian. The lower dantian is the estate that stores essence. The middle dantian is the estate that stores energy. The upper dantian is the estate that stores spirit. Li Qijing adjusted himself for a quarter of an hour, feeling his energy acupoint was full. The two spiritual wheels circled each other, entangling endlessly. Seeing this, Lu Jiangxian decided to lend a helping hand with this mind-calming mantra to settle his body and mind. Just wait a short moment, and Li Qijing's circulating journey can be achieved. Who knew that in the next second, Lu Jiangxian abruptly felt as if he had thorns in his back. From far away, he felt a majestic aura approaching from the distance, flying towards the Great Dawn Mountain. Lu Jiangxian decisively followed his heart, his spiritual sense retreating like an ebbing tide into the mirror. He didn't even absorb the moonlight casting down from the skylight anymore. In just a few short breaths, a streak of cyan flowing light crossed the sky above the Li family. That great battle cut off the spiritual mechanisms of the northern foothills of the Great Dawn Mountain, leaving the earth veins in a chaotic mess. Now 300 years have passed. These earth veins and spiritual mechanisms are slowly recovering. Quite a few monstrous creatures have also achieved some standing. Recently I broke out of seclusion, and my cultivation base has advanced again, so I will go to the Great Dawn Mountain to seek trouble with that pig demon. At this time, Si Yuanbai noticed that at the foot of the mountain, there were unexpectedly quite a few villages. The great battle cleared the heavens and the earth, killing off all the monstrous creatures in these northern foothills, and cutting off the spiritual mechanisms. It actually became a good residence for these mortals. Si Yuanbai looked down lowly, but abruptly saw that in the small village below him, there were flashes of magical power auras. He couldn't help but feel a bit curious in his heart. How very rare. This youth is breaking through a bottleneck, yet unexpectedly has no elders by his side to watch over him. Other than these few youths, there are no other magical power fluctuations in the village. It is probably the romantic seed left behind by some fellow Taoist. Si Yuanbai looked at Li Qijing below and couldn't help but sigh. Condensing a spiritual wheel is actually so smooth and familiar. What a fine youth. This youth's comprehension and innate talent are both not bad, and his cultivation method is also profound. But in this mortal village deep in the mountains, how many immortal cultivation resources can he use, and how many incantation secret slips can he obtain? Ultimately, he will merely achieve energy refining and turn to ash and smoke in 200 years. The path of immortal cultivation is perilous and difficult. Spiritual apertures are merely the foundation for entry. One also needs to look at serendipity, comprehension, and willpower, and even more so, family background and sect. The road of immortal cultivation is long and boundless. How many heroes have broken their halberds and sunk into the sand? How many handsome talents have died and their clans annihilated? Subsequently, Si Yuanbai formed hand seals and cast an invisibility spell, sitting on the artificial rockery in the courtyard, leisurely watching the crowd in the courtyard. But he saw a mortal old man walking from outside the courtyard. That youth guarding the process spoke. After hearing these words, Si Yuanbai's expression suddenly became bizarre. Those possessing spiritual apertures are not even 1 in 1,000. Yet here is a family with 3 spiritual apertures. Could this possibly be the seed of that mortal old farmer? Moreover, these 3 sons' magical power is mellow and pure. They definitely possess a profound method. It is undoubtedly the illegitimate children accidentally left behind by some fellow Taoist. Cultivators rarely have descendants, yet dare not bring them back home, so they have to raise them in this village to cultivate first. Although cultivators do not easily give birth to children, but the children they do give birth to have a greatly increased probability of possessing spiritual apertures. Energy refining scholars can reach 1 or 2 out of 10. After foundation establishment, it reaches 50%. These 3 children all possess spiritual apertures. Their father's cultivation base is probably above foundation establishment. At this time, Li Qijing concluded his practice. With joy on his face, he spoke. Father, I have broken through. The Li family naturally had a wave of joy. Si Yuanbai on the artificial rockery, however, looked at him and his heart stirred. This section from the ancient Dawn Road to the Great Dawn Mountain has many mortals. Yet due to that great battle, no cultivators have garrisoned here for 300 years. Now the earth veins are returning to their positions, and the spiritual mechanisms are gradually recovering. This land should also be brought back under the sect's governance early. Why not use these few people as a vassal to the sect to garrison this place, borrowing the might of that foundation establishment senior? They can also suppress these many monstrous creatures. Along the way, I can also form a good affinity with that foundation establishment cultivator. Thinking of this, Yuanbai formed a hand seal and revealed his figure, floating down lightly into the courtyard. The members of the Li family were just rejoicing, but saw a figure draped in cyan clothes appear out of thin air in the courtyard. The few people instantly felt as if facing a great enemy. Li Xiangping quickly shielded Li Mutian behind him. Li Tongya shouted in a low voice, "Who is your excellency?" Seeing that cyan-clothed man who resembled an immortal slowly appear in the courtyard, Li Xiangping's mouth instantly turned bitter, secretly thinking in his heart, "I'm afraid the owner of that reflection glass has come looking for it." Yuanbai smiled faintly. "I am the peak master of Green Ear Peak of Green Pool sect. Yuanbai, you few need not be nervous. This ancient dawn road belongs to my Green Pool sect. Since you have cultivated the immortal path, naturally you are under the governance of Green Pool sect." Seeing that this person had not come to look for that reflection glass, Li Tongya and the others instantly let out a sigh of relief. "We are humble commoners of the countryside, ignorant and ill-informed. We unintentionally achieved the profound scene. We did not know what kind of grand faction your noble sect is, and have thus slighted the envoy." Yuanbai was taken aback, and instantly understood in his heart. This ancient dawn road has not had people sent to tidy it up for hundreds of years. These villagers don't even know the name of Green Pool sect anymore. Thus, he formed a hand seal. Naturally, a lifelike map of the nation of Transcendence, Nation of Su, emerged before the eyes of the crowd. The few people were startled in their hearts. This person's control over magical power is unexpectedly this exquisite. Although we have learned incantations and can summon magical power, but even pinching it into a shape is struggling enough, let alone controlling magical power to mold it into a map. Yuanbai's mind stirred. In his hand, on the southern part of the Nation of Transcendence, a cyan map patch instantly emerged. "This is exactly my Green Pool sect." Green Pool sect is one of the 3 sects of the Nation of Transcendence. As the actual controller of the southern 5 commanderies of the Nation of Transcendence, Green Pool sect possesses a complete governance system. The sect only dispatches disciples to manage down to the cities. For the rest, they utilize the intertwined bloodline marriages of those immortal cultivation aristocratic families to control the bottom tier, utilizing medicinal pills and magical artifacts to force the aristocratic families to plant raw materials and massively supply low cultivation manpower. Then year after year, harvesting the outstanding disciples of the aristocratic families to enrich the sect. This is an excellent method almost universally acknowledged in the cultivation world. Since the founding and establishment of Green Pool sect, it has already been used for over 500 years. Hearing this, Li Mutian cupped his hands in obeisance and spoke, "So it is the Green Pool immortal sect. When this old man was young, I followed General Yang to attack the mountain surpassers. That talisman should have been issued by the Green Pool immortal sect." Yuanbai waved his hand repeatedly. "I absolutely cannot bear the name of immortal sect. Since you have entered the gates of the profound scene, the few villages along this ancient dawn road shall be governed by you. You only need to strictly remember to offer the resources demanded by the sect year after year. There are a few other families on this ancient dawn road. Your family's foundation is shallow, so yield whenever possible in all matters. Do not have too many disputes. Every 5 years, the sect will send people to recruit people up the mountain. If an outstanding figure can emerge from the clan, it will also be of great benefit to the family." Li Tongya's face changed slightly, and he inquired in a low voice, "I wonder about this resource." Yuanbai said sternly, "Every year, 10 white origin fruits and 200 caddies of spiritual rice. This resource absolutely cannot be lacking. It is best to have disciples paying respects to the mountain gate within the sect. Otherwise, this deduction and embezzlement will be unavoidable." The few people exchanged glances. Li Mutian thought secretly in his heart, this person didn't come early or late, but happened to appear when Li Qijing broke through. Most likely he wants Li Qijing to enter that Green Pool sect. This is actually fine too. Li Qijing's innate talent is outstanding. Staying in these deep mountains is truly a grievance to him. It's better to go to that immortal sect to fully display his abilities. The family will also have someone to look after us from the inside and outside. Subsequently, Li Mutian gently nodded to Li Qijing. Seeing his father's expression, Li Qijing instantly understood. He made a deep bow to Yuanbai and spoke respectfully. "Li Qijing is dull in innate talent, but also admires the Peak Master's grace and demeanor. I hope to be able to pay my respects under the Peak Master's tutelage to serve as a sweeping boy, respectfully listening to the immortal teachings." Yuanbai smiled and nodded his head. "It is fitting that you enter my Green Ear Peak. There is no need to be a sweeping boy. Since you have paid respects under my tutelage, you should also know my taboo name. Your master's surname is C, named Yuanbai. In Green Pool sect, I am also the master of a peak. Naturally, I will not aggrieve you. This is a storage bag. Wait until you all cultivate the Jade Capital Wheel, and you will be able to use it. The larger of these 2 bundles is the seeds of that spiritual rice. The smaller one is the pits of that white origin fruit. These 3 scrolls of methods are the methods of loose cultivators of the nation of transcendence. Your family can study them for reference. The other scroll is precisely the cultivation method for that spiritual rice and white origin fruit. You all must study it diligently. The few people responded in low voices. Si Yuanbai smiled and spoke. There is no need to be so nervous. What method do you cultivate? The few people instantly felt as if facing a great enemy. They exchanged a few glances, and for a time, unexpectedly no one spoke. Seeing the stammering and hesitant appearance of the few people, Si Yuanbai suddenly realized. He waved his hand repeatedly. I understand. Presumably that senior had instructions. Hearing these words, Li Mutian coughed once and stood out from behind the few people. More than 10 years ago, this old man saved the senior. That senior recuperated from his injuries at this old man's home for a few years and left behind this cultivation technique. He also instructed this old man not to reveal this cultivation technique. After saying that, he drifted away. Si Yuanbai nodded his head gently. In his heart, he was endlessly proud of his own quick-wittedness. At most, it's just a wheel-nourishing method. Could it possibly be some immortal method for plucking lunar essence and absorbing solar essence? No need to demand it forcefully. It would only hurt the feelings of this disciple. Subsequently, Si Yuanbai flipped his palm, revealing a pale cyan jade seal. Gently stroking the seal, that seal slowly lit up with a cyan light, emerging with a few large cyan characters. Under green pool governance, this is the proof under the jurisdiction of my green pool sect. I have already imprinted a magical seal. With this, you can draw boundaries with the neighboring families, and also use it to seek help from the sect. You all take good care of it. Say your goodbyes to your family. Li Qijing, with red eyes, hugged his 2 older brothers. He kowed out a few times in front of Li Mutian, and said tearfully, your son is unfilial. From now on, I cannot serve at my parents' knees. I also hope father and mother take great care of your health. Li Mutian hurriedly helped Li Qijing up, and instructed him, you have your 2 older brothers for the family's matters. No need to worry. Cultivate diligently in the sect, to be the reliance for my Li family. After bidding farewell, Li Qijing reluctantly walked to Si Yuanbai's side. This disciple has already bid farewell to my family. Si Yuanbai nodded repeatedly and then laughed heartily. Today I have taken in a fine disciple, so I will let that pig demon off the hook. After saying that, he pulled the Li Qijing on the ground. He gently beckoned. A flying shuttle slowly emerged in front of him. The 2 stood onto the flying shuttle and headed north like a shooting star, respectfully seeing off the immortal master. Li Xiangping saw Si Yuanbai piloting the flying shuttle disappear over the horizon. Only then did he get up and pick up the wooden slip on the tabletop. This is exactly the loose cultivator's method left behind by that immortal master. Green origin nourishing will method, a cultivation method for the fetal breathing realm. He hastily skimmed through it once. Just as he was reading with a frown, he heard Li Tongyao let out a light gasp. This breathing incantation only requires breathing daily. There is no need to refine lunar essence. Naturally, it cannot compare to that reflection glass, the incantation of our family. Li Xiangping just wanted to mention that reflection glass, but fearing Si Yuanbai would turn back in return, he had to change his wording. By the way, second brother, you say that Si Yuanbai is truly some peak master of Green Pool sect? Li Qijing just leaving with him like this is somewhat hasty. Li Tongya smiled bitterly and spoke. What other way do we have? And if he were some evil cultivator, he could have just taken the person and left. Why bother babbling with us, and even leave behind some incantations? Proof. Li Xiangping nodded his head and picked up the second wooden slip on the tabletop. Heaven origin energy refining incantation. Cultivation incantation for the energy refining stage. Li Tongya also picked up a piece and read to himself. Summer Dawn secret slip. Li Xiangping, come look at this. This secret slip records many cultivation common sense, the power distribution of Summer Dawn commandery, and the trading markets of loose cultivators. It is exactly what we urgently need right now. So cultivation techniques are divided into 9 grades. Grade 1 is the worst. Grade 9 is the best. Incantations, medicinal pills, and magical artifacts then correspond to the realms. I just don't know what grade this incantation of our family is. Seeing his younger brother concentrating on reading that secret slip, Li Tongya picked up that pale cyan jade seal left behind by Si Yuanbai, silently urging magical power. On that jade seal instantly emerged the 4 golden characters under green pool governance. Subsequently, those large characters slowly disappeared, replaced by a bright white character Li and a small map. Li Mutian squinted his eyes and identified it for a while. He read out the names of these villages one by one. These 4 villages are exactly what that Si Yuanbai mentioned. The various villages from the ancient Dawn Road to the foot of the Great Dawn Mountain. With the Green Pool Immortal Sect's endorsement, my Li family also has enough strength, and there is no need to hide anymore. Openly and righteously nurture our forces. Li Xiangping, who had his head lowered reading the book, suddenly raised his head. He spoke with a calm expression. Then it shall start from tomorrow night. When Chen Ernie woke up early in the morning, he saw the Li family's tenants shuttling like swimming fish between the head and end of the village, pulling people door to door. Aunt Li, tell Brother Li of your family. Tonight after leaving the fields, go to the back of the village. Uncle Tian has an important important matter to discuss. The Li family is inviting. For a time, it caused a chaotic uproar like chickens flying and dogs jumping. Everyone's bellies were full of doubts. As one of the top large households in the village, the Li family had extremely strong rallying power in the village. The large and small households in the village had all arrived. At this time, Li Xiangping stepped forward and said to the crowd, "Apologies for disturbing everyone. However, today there is a piece of good news to discuss with everyone. Last night, an immortal from the Green Pool Immortal sect passed through this place. Seeing that my younger brother Li Qijing has outstanding innate talent, he took my younger brother to the Immortal Mountain to practice immortal methods." As soon as these words came out, it was like throwing a massive boulder into a calm lake, shocking everyone present. Han Wenshu guessed in his heart, Li Qijing most likely possesses spiritual apertures, which is why he was taken away by that immortal cultivator of Green Pool sect. Subsequently, he stepped forward to loudly offer congratulations. Congratulations. Everyone has their own serendipity. Li Qijing being able to enter the immortal sect is truly a blessing for the entire village. Once Han Wenshu spoke up, Li Xiangping's words finally gained some credibility. Most of the villagers still couldn't help but whisper and chat among themselves. Li Xiangping's expression was indifferent. In his hand, he revealed a jade seal. Under the urging of magical power, the four sparkling golden large characters, under Green Pool governance, emerged. Seeing this immortal method, the crowd instantly erupted into an uproar. Li Xiangping watched that character Li finish emerging, then put away the jade seal. Looking at the crowd below, he spoke clearly and loudly. That immortal also bestowed immortal methods, commanding my Li family to garrison Dawn Stream Village, Stream Pear Estuary, Dawn Sun Village, and Ancient Dawn Road Estuary, these various villages. After saying that, he gently squeezed his palm, and a dazzling golden light emerged from his palm. With a flick of his wrist, that golden light whizzed out, sinking into the continuous mountain forest. With a rumbling sound, it stirred up flocks of flying birds. Once this move of the golden light incantation was executed, the people below instantly knelt on the ground with a rustling sound. We are willing to follow the immortal family's command and revere the Li clan. Looking at the kneeling crowd below, Li Xiangping hurriedly spoke. Everyone, there is no need to be like this. We are relatives and fellow villagers. Li Xiangping cannot accept this. Chen Ernie listened to Li Xiangping's voice, pressing his head tightly against the ground. The sky is about to change. Please. The scene shifts. Li Tongya slowly walked out of Stream Pear Estuary. Behind him, Li Yesheng held cloth in one hand and a charcoal pencil in the other, scribbling crookedly, noting something down. Stream Pear Estuary suffered from that drought disaster more than 10 years ago and still hasn't recovered to this day. Barely over 100 households. It is truly pitiful. Brother Li Tongya, we cleared out the large households in Stream Pear Estuary and equalized the land. The villagers have no rent left to pay. This 10% field tax is very loose. However, ultimately someone needs to be sent here to manage matters. But between the direct and concubine-born lines of my Li family, there really is no one who can read, write, and is presentable enough. Li Tongya waved his hand, and under Li Yesheng's envious gaze, cast a close purifying art. No need to worry too much. Father and Li Xiangping will make the arrangements. Li Qijing stepped onto that flying shuttle. Looking at the majestic scenery below, he couldn't help but sigh with emotion. A true man should ride the wind and embrace the moon, wielding his sword across the world. After flying for about 2 double hours, an extremely high mountain range popped up before Li Qijing's eyes. Between the mountains, pavilions and terraces stretched continuously. It looked completely like an immortal family's atmosphere. There were also flocks of immortal cranes and white birds shuttling among the mountains. Si Yuanbai in front of him also stopped, closing his eyes to regulate his breathing. He waved his hand and tossed out a token, quietly waiting. When Si Yuanbai waved his hand and tossed out the token, an immortal crane accurately caught the token in its beak. So it is Martial Uncle Si Yuanbai who has returned. After returning the token to Si Yuanbai, that white crane slowly stopped in front of Li Qijing, asking curiously, "This kid is?" It was Li Qijing's first time seeing a talking immortal beast, and he was so nervous he couldn't speak. Si Yuanbai smiled and said, "The newly taken disciple of my Green Ear Peak." That immortal crane congratulated him. "Congratulations to Martial Uncle." Subsequently, the immortal crane gently flapped its wings. A transparent curtain of light slowly opened a gap in front of the two. Only then did Li Qijing discover that between heaven and earth, there was an almost transparent massive cover, firmly enveloping the mountain gate of this Green Pool sect, cutting off the spiritual energy inside from the outside. Seeing Li Qijing's expression full of surprise, Si Yuanbai chuckled lightly. "This is Green Pool sect's heaven origin first Dao spiritual array, incomparably miraculous, locking the inside and outside, allowing the spiritual veins of Green Pool Mountain to be enjoyed exclusively by Green Pool sect, with the help of the array's power, as long as there is an immortal cultivator of the Foundation establishment realm garrisoning it. Even Violet Palace cultivators would find it hard to breach." Li Qijing echoed, "How truly miraculous," but in his heart he secretly thought, "I wonder if this array method can be learned, so I can also set one up on the back mountain of my family." On the other side, Li Tongya and the others were sitting upright in the Li family's main courtyard. At the lowest position, Li Yesheng stood in the courtyard. He was reading loudly the charcoal characters on the cloth. Faint flower, Dawn Stream Village 229 households. Stream Pair Estuary 101 households. Dawn Sun Village 297 households. Ancient Dawn Road Estuary 158 households. A total of 785 households. 4,280 people. Li Xiangping leaned against the wooden table and said in a low voice, 4,280 people. 3 able-bodied young men per household. No matter what, we should be able to scrape together 1 or 2 individuals possessing spiritual apertures. Li Yesheng looked at the few people sitting at the head and smiled bitterly. There is another matter I must report to the family head. The various clan elders of the Yi clan came to visit Li Yesheng last night, hoping to restore their ancestral surname. Li Tongya raised his head, asking doubtfully, looking at the puzzled expressions of Li Tongya and his brother. Li Mutian coughed once and spoke to explain. The ancestors of the Yi clan were originally a branch lineage of my Li family. It was only later that they made a mistake, and the entire branch of clan members was expelled from the Li family and changed their surname to Yi. Originally, the 2 families each refrained from mentioning this matter. Now seeing that my Li family has obtained immortal destiny, the Yi clan naturally comes eagerly to attach themselves, wanting to change back to their ancestral surname. Hearing this, Li Yesheng also nodded his head. It was only last night, after hearing that clan elder weeping and complaining, that he learned of such old and secret matters. That clan elder of the Yi family wept tearfully and bitterly. If it weren't for the Li family just obtaining immortal destiny, he wouldn't have come to attach himself. He, Li Yesheng, genuinely thought that this person was reminiscing about the main family. After Li Xiangping listened to Li Mutian's explanation, he immediately answered Li Yesheng, telling him to go reply to that clan elder. If any branch of the Yi family produces someone possessing spiritual apertures, then that branch will be permitted to change back to the surname Li and become a branch lineage of my Li family. Then he turned his head and inquired of Li Mutian. These persons in charge of the various villages. Li Mutian already had candidates in his heart. Chen Erniu is shrewd and capable, and fled from Stream Pair Estuary, so dispatch him to Stream Pair Estuary. Dawn Sun Village has the largest population and is the most prosperous. We must send a trusted person. Let your Uncle Ren go watch over it. Ancient Dawn Road Estuary is right next to the Ancient Dawn Road. There is a multitude of fleeing refugees. The situation is the most complex. That Suanshan is sly as a ghost. Let him take his group of refugee brothers and go. Li Xiangping nodded his head, holding the scroll of the method for planting spiritual plants in his hands and reading it. The most urgent matter right now is to use the energy-seeking art in this scroll to inspect the earth veins of the few villages, to find out those spiritual fields, and plant the spiritual rice and white origin fruits early. Upon entering Green Pool Sect, seeing Li Qijing's absent-minded appearance, Si Yuanbai only assumed he was shocked. He continued to speak. The 100 arts of immoral cultivation, prospecting veins and so on. Infinitely profound. It is best to choose one to cultivate. Li Qijing asked curiously, which path of the 100 arts of immoral cultivation do you cultivate? Si Yuanbai proudly raised his head. Among the 36 peaks of Green Pool, Green Ear Peak has always been renowned for its sword path. Li Qijing nodded in sudden realization, looking towards the precious sword at Si Yuanbai's waist. So that's how it is. Therefore, what your master cultivates is the path of talismans. Si Yuanbai looked at the dumbfounded Li Qijing. He continued to speak somewhat awkwardly. Your grandmaster died early. For this path of the sword immortal, your master has not yet gotten the hang of it. Yet Green Ear Peak needs to subsidize its household expenses everywhere. So I had to learn some talismans first. Who knew that the more I learned talismans, the more proficient I became? Li Qijing nodded repeatedly, expressing that he could understand. Si Yuanbai led Li Qijing winding round and round among the various peaks. Finding the low and short Green Ear Peak, they finally landed on the peak summit. A man and a woman walked towards them head-on. First, let me introduce you to a few senior brothers. You rank 7th under your master's tutelage. This is your 3rd senior brother, named Xiao Yuanxi, cultivation base of the 7th layer of energy refining. That is your 4th senior sister, named Yuan Tuan, cultivation base of the 3rd layer of energy refining. Li Qijing respectfully bowed to that man and woman. Greetings, senior brother Xiao, senior sister Yuan. Junior brother's surname is Li, named Qijing. Just acknowledged our master yesterday. Xiao Yuanxi was quite dashing and generous. Handing over a scroll of jade slip, he spoke. This is a scroll of sword incantation I obtained by chance while traveling outside. Now I shall give it to junior brother as a meeting gift. Yuan Tuan also smiled faintly, presenting a piece of jade pendant. This jade pendant can calm the spirit and steady the mind, helping to enter meditation. It is a useful tool for the fetal breathing realm. I shall also gift it to junior brother together. Li Qijing naturally thanked them one by one, curiously inquiring, are the other senior brothers and senior sisters in closed-door cultivation? Si Yuanbai smiled lightly, answering, your eldest senior brother had outstanding innate talent. Last year he cultivated to the great circle of energy refining. Thus he went into closed-door cultivation to break through to foundation establishment, but failed. His body died and his Tao perished. Si Yuanbai Yuanbai's answer clearly exceeded Li Qijing's expectations. As for your other few senior brothers and senior sisters, either died at the hands of monstrous creatures, or died in magical battles fighting over treasures, or died to bottleneck demonic obstacles. They are all buried on the peak. You follow me together to pay respects to them. Seeing Li Qijing's mournful expression, Si Yuanbai smiled coldly. Immortal cultivation is fundamentally the path of great contention. You have to strive to win. You must win the contention. If you can't win the contention, you die. What is there to pity? You, Li Qijing, must contend. If you can't win the contention, your body dies. Your Li family must contend. If you can't win the contention, the clan is annihilated. My Green-Ear Peak must also contend. If we can't win the contention, our Tao is cut off. The world is inherently a place where the weak are the prey of the strong. What is there to hide? This time, Li Tongya arrived at Dawnstream Village's White Origin Fruit spiritual field. Looking at these desolate spiritual fields before him, he felt somewhat melancholy. A few days ago, he and Li Xiangping together surveyed the spiritual fields of the various villages. They were all pitifully small. Dawnstream Village's spiritual fields were fragmented and scattered. Fortunately, the largest piece could barely plant 10 white origin fruits. Subsequently, he asked Li Yeshen, "How is the matter I instructed you with previously going?" Li Yeshen cupped his fists and spoke. "It has already been instructed down exactly as Brother Li Tongya said. Other than the villagers who periodically come to the small courtyard to deliver supplies, no one else will approach this spiritual field." Hearing this, Li Tongya was very satisfied. From now on, cultivating and farming fields here can also be considered cozy. "How is the progress on Li Xiangping's side?" Li Yeshen said smilingly. "Although I didn't see it with my own eyes, I heard that when Brother Li Xiangping was sowing the spiritual rice in Dawnsun Village, there are villagers prostrating and worshipping outside the courtyard every day. It is actually quite amusing. You go into the villages and see if the children from the various villages have all arrived. If they are all gathered, then come back and notify me." After Li Yeshen left, Li Tongya formed hand seals, watching the fine and dense spiritual rain float down upon the pitch-black soil. He pondered with a pale face. The spiritual rain art in this spiritual plant cultivation method truly consumes heavily. Even having cultivated the bearing light wheel, I can barely release it once. These spiritual plants still need to be taken care of every day. It truly requires manpower. Better go back first to adjust my magical power. Later on, I still have to test those children for spiritual apertures. Under that luxuriant large locust tree at the head of the village, the people sent by the various villages had all arrived, led by the persons in charge sent by the Li family. A few prominent figures in the villages led the teams. Have you heard? Streampair Estuaries person in charge Chen Erniu and that ancient Dawn Road Estuaries person in charge Su Wenshan have never gotten along previously. Now that both of them have become persons in charge, they look down on each other even more. Our Dawn Sun village is still better. Person in charge Ren Ping'an doesn't meddle in anything and just manages these matters within our own village. I also heard that when Chen Erniu learned he was going to be the person in charge of Streampair Estuary in front of the Li family Immortal's courtyard, he fiercely kowtowed 9 times loudly, even if he is looked down upon by others. So what? He himself fled from disaster and received relief from the Li family. Marrying a wife and buying fields received the grace of the Li family. When his wife fell ill, it was also the Li family who paid for the medical treatment. All this grace has already firmly bound him, Chen Erniu, to the Li family's chariot. Right at this moment, an anxious calling sound rang by his ear. Chen Erniu turned his head to look. So it's Chen Changmu, a villager who came together from Streampair Estuary. This Li family immortal is really willing to take in the children of my Chen family? Chen Erniu opened his mouth and said, "If there is a mortal destiny harboring spiritual apertures, children aged 7 to 13, as long as your Chen family children harbor those spiritual apertures within them, the Li family will take them all." At this moment, Li Tongya had already finished regulating his breathing. When he pushed open the door, Li Yeshen hurriedly stepped forward to welcome him. "The children from all the villages have all arrived. Will Brother Li Tongya go right now?" Hearing this, Li Tongya didn't say much more, but instead walked towards the large locust tree at the head of the village. "Everyone has waited a long time. Let's begin." Seeing Li Tongya appear at the village entrance, Chen Erniu thought enviously in his heart, "I wonder which of the children from the various villages today will ultimately attain immortal destiny." Li Tongya sat upon the wooden platform. The person beside him began calling out names. Streampair Estuary, Chen Lifu. Below, someone from the Chen family brought up a trembling child with fear. Li Tongya rested his hand on that child's shoulder. Magical power twisted and circulated through his body once. He waved his hand and spoke. Next, seeing this, a trace of disappointment flashed through Chen Changlu's eyes below. Before long, the people from Streampair Estuary had all gone down. Chen Changlu's face was ugly, looking at Chen Erniu with a look as if pleading. Chen Erniu spread his hands, expressing that he was powerless to help. Very quickly, Streampair Estuary had completely finished testing. Next started the testing for Dawnsun Village. Li Tongya was already mentally prepared for the scene. Those harboring spiritual apertures are not even 1 in 1,000. As long as the children of the various villages can produce a single one, it would be considered breaking even. 2 would be a profit. it. Next is Donsun Village, Lu Rochuan. As soon as the words fell, a girl looking about 13 or 14 years old stepped up. Curved eyebrows, a bright-eyed little girl, 14 years old. This is considered pushing the upper limit of the age. Lee Tonya shook his head helplessly, treating it as if he didn't notice, resting his left hand on the girl's shoulder to circulate magical power, wandering through the girl's meridians for a full cycle. Lee Tonya let out a light gasp. The members of the Lu clan of Donsun Village below couldn't help but become nervous one after another, but he saw that in the girl's energy sea acupoint, the airflow surged endlessly. Continuously pulsating was a transparent air acupoint, as if it were breathing on its own. Lee Tonya opened his eyes and smiled at that girl. Stand behind me. The crowd of Donsun Village below the stage instantly broke into an uproar. Everyone carried a joyous expression. In contrast, Stream Pair Estuary was a patch of dead silence. The remaining two villages were even more distressed. Before long, Donsun Village and Ancient Dawn Road Estuary had all finished testing. Sure enough, there was not a single person possessing spiritual apertures left. The next to undergo testing would precisely be Dawnstream Village, where the Lee family immortals resided. Next began the calling of names. Dawnstream Village, Yi Chouyang. When Yi Chouyang emerged from the crowd, his father Yi Chengfu below instantly tightened his whole body. His legs went soft. His eyes stared fixedly at that child on the stage who looked 8 or 9 years old, constantly comforting himself in his heart. My Yi clan is at any rate considered a branch lineage of the Lee family. No matter what, there should be some immortal destiny upon us. Looking at Yi Chouyang on the stage, Li Yesheng beside them thought hatefully, if brother Li Tonya hadn't tested me earlier, I truly would have wished I could go up and try. Watching Li Tonya rest his hand on Yi Chouyang's shoulder, Yi Chengfu stared unblinkingly at all of this. There is unexpectedly another one, and it is of my Li family's bloodline. Hearing Li Tonya's gentle voice on the stage, Yi Chengfu jumped up from the ground as if electrocuted. Li Tonya asked with a smile, since your surname is Yi, who is your father? Yi Chouyang looked at Yi Chengfu, who was dancing with joy below the stage, and answered timidly, Yi Chengfu. Li Tonya followed the child's gaze downward. New congratulations to brother Yi Chengfu. Greeting him with a smile, Yi Chengfu cupped his hands excitedly and replied respectfully, many thanks to the immortal master. Li Tonya smiled and shook his head, tested the remaining few people one by one, and spoke clearly and loudly. The remaining people have no serendipity. The persons in charge please stay. The rest of the people return to your villages. The crowd below stirred for a moment. Sounds of sighing rose and fell in succession. At this time, Li Yesheng beside Li Tonya stood out and spoke. The three persons in charge, follow me to the Li family courtyard to check the land deeds and accounts. Chen Erniu and the other two naturally agreed in unison, and followed Li Yesheng towards the Li family. Li Tonya walked down from the stage, looking at the extremely excited Yi Chengfu, and that clan elder of the Lu clan of Donsun Village. He said softly, you few follow me. Yi Chengfu nodded hurriedly. While walking, he tightly hugged his own child into his embrace. Very quickly, Yi Chengfu and Yi Chouyang offered incense in the ancestral hall, knelt down and respectfully kowtowed. Under the witness of the various Li family members, they restored their clan surname. Li Mutian, as the oldest direct line of the Li clan, naturally sat high up in the primary seat in the courtyard. The two followed the rules and first offered tea to Li Mutian, kneeling before him to respectfully listen. Li Chouyang is also a disciple of my Li clan. Since he harbors spiritual apertures, naturally a method must be passed down. The clan bestows the green origin nourishing will method. You must cultivate diligently, revere the ancestors and honor the Tao. Be sincere to relatives and harmonious with the clan. You absolutely must not leak the secrets of the immortal method, drawing the covetous eyes of others. Now already Li Chouyang, the youth bowed his body and prostrated. I shall strictly remember the clan head's teachings. Li Mutian nodded his head. You shall follow Li Xiangping to that spiritual field in Donsun Village. Ordinarily, you will follow him to cultivate. Until you have cultivated the profound scene wheel, you are not to go out. Li Chouyang got up and received that wooden slip from his hands. Looking at his father, he spoke. Then your child will follow the main family to cultivate. Li Chengfu nodded repeatedly. You absolutely do not need to worry about the matters at home. Tomorrow father will carry your clothes and daily necessities and deliver them to you at that small courtyard in Donsun Village. You just cultivate properly. Li Xiangping smiled lightly, took Li Chouyang's small hand, nodded to his father Li Mutian, and went out the door. Subsequently, Li Mutian told Li Chengfu to pack up and move his home to the back of the village in a few days. Li Chengfu agreed repeatedly and then took his leave. Seeing Li Chengfu hurriedly go out the door and walk far away, Li Mutian said heavily, that girl from the Lu family, you take her first. Instruct her in the small courtyard of Dawnstream Village. If she attains the profound scene one day, do not teach her spell arts first. Li Tonya said with endless admiration, father's arrangement is excellent. This Donsun Village of the Lu family will be arranged for Li family members to watch over. The immortal cultivator of the Lu family will be transferred to Dawnstream Village to be watched over. This will guard against them growing too strong. Li Mutian narrowed his eyes, gently sipped a mouthful of clear tea. It is still early. These children do not have the reflection glass to assist them, and have no no immortal cultivation resources or medicinal pills. To cultivate into the profound scene will take a year. Li Tongya shook his head. Far more than that. Having read that green origin nourishing will incantation, the magical power cultivated will probably be superficial and powerless. During the circulation of magical power, there are also many extra burdens. Refining into the profound scene will take more than 3 years. Then so be it. Since the achievements of that green origin nourishing will incantation are inferior, and the speed is also inferior, there was originally no need to guard against anything, just leaving a fallback in all matters. That's all. Father is right. Li Tongya nodded, seeing Li Mutian gazing into the distance as if lost in thought. He smiled bitterly, cupped his hands, and took his leave. Li Mutian was alone, quietly sitting in the high seat in the courtyard. After a long while, he sighed gently, not ruthless and malicious enough. The scene shifts. Li Qiuyang knocked on the door of Li Xiangping's room. Li Qiuyang has some matters I wish to ask the Immortal Master for guidance. Li Xiangping told him to speak without harm. Li Qiuyang asked doubtfully, the scroll bestowed by the Immortal Master records that the spiritual energy fetal breathing cultivation requires more than a month to condense a single strand, but I have only cultivated for a few nights, and have already condensed a strand of spiritual energy fetal breathing. Hearing this, Li Xiangping was endlessly shocked in his heart. Condensed a strand of fetal breathing spiritual energy in just a few nights. To have such cultivation speed without using the reflection glass is truly astonishingly fast. Li Qiuyang felt that his speed did not match the scroll. Fearing he had cultivated the technique wrong, he thus hurriedly came to seek guidance from the Immortal Master. Li Xiangping expressed that there was no problem with this nourishing will method, but logically speaking, it shouldn't be like this. Li Qiuyang, think carefully. Has any strange occurrence ever happened to you? Li Qiuyang suddenly remembered a major event, and hurriedly answered. A few years ago, a few companions insisted on comparing courage, and agreed to climb the back mountain, but in the end, only I alone went up the mountain. On the way, I didn't see my companions, and unknowingly got lost. As I kept walking, I saw a small jade green tree, with 6 or 7 bright red fruits hanging on top of it. Those fruits were sparkling red, looking extremely lovable. I truly couldn't hold back, and as if possessed, plucked one fruit and ate it. I walked down the mountain in a daze. After returning, I slept for 3 days, making father so anxious he found many people to come take a look. Listening to Li Qiuyang finish his story, Li Xiangping was certain. This fruit is 9 times out of 10 some kind of spiritual root that can accelerate cultivation. Li Qiuyang, congratulations. Looking at it now, it will only take a little over a year for you to condense the profound scene wheel. However, there is still an important matter. Take us up the mountain to search for that spiritual root. Su Wenshan looked at the map in front of him and thought secretly in his heart. Sun Ancient Dawn Road Estuary has mixed surnames. Although the situation is complex, it also lacks the restrictions of large clans and major families. I was originally of a merchant caravan management background. Managing a small village is naturally not a problem, but just sitting in this village collecting rent and calculating accounts truly underestimates me. Su Wenshan, I should think of more ways to perform meritorious deeds in front of the main family, to overshadow that Chen Erniu of Streampair Estuary. Right at this moment, his subordinates hurriedly ran over and shouted loudly, "This is bad. The people of Streampair Estuary got into a fight with the people of our village, over fighting for water again." Hearing this, Su Wenshan had a face full of displeasure. These guys, sooner or later I will show them some color. When you came over, was that Chen Erniu of Streampair Estuary there or not? I actually didn't see that Chen Erniu. Since Chen Erniu didn't appear, it is also not convenient for me to go over directly. You go keep an eye on that side first. If there's any new situation, come back and notify me. The subordinate hurriedly agreed. Looking at the retreating back of the subordinate, Su Wenshan thought secretly in his heart. Nowadays when the villagers of this ancient Dawn Road Estuary mention that Streampair Estuary of his, Chen Erniu, they all gnash their teeth, wishing they could give him a punch. Having enemies makes it easier for them to rally around me. Su Wenshan. Furthermore, when I managed the merchant caravan previously, I never liked the people below getting along too well. One must always provoke some contradictions. To say that the Li family has no informants in these few villages, I absolutely don't believe it. Judging others by myself, I naturally have to fight with that Chen Erniu to make the main family happy watching. I have already won against that Chen Erniu by far too much. Looking at the twisted and winding ancient Dawn Road on the map, his heart abruptly stirred. Why don't I return to my old profession? The various villages are trapped inside this ancient Dawn Road. Goods cannot circulate. Every household plows the fields and weaves clothes. Self-sufficient. I, Su Wenshan, worked on that road for over 20 years. Could I not work on this road? The main family has cultivated the immoral path. These mortal worldly goods are dispensable to them. It's better to open up the mountain road and sell all these grains and silk weaves out. Perhaps we can exchange for some jades and spiritual items to bring back. This is what is actually somewhat useful. Thinking of this, Su Wenshan truly couldn't sit still anymore. I will go find the main family right now to explain it in detail. Li Tongya returned to the small courtyard in Dawnstream village. Just as he stepped over the stone steps in front of the door, Lu Rochuan stood up with a swoosh from the stone stool. usual. Li Tongya waved his hand. No need to be so polite. I am merely 6 or 7 years older than you. Just call me Li Tongya. Seeing Li Tongya's easy to talk to appearance, Lu Rochuan relaxed considerably, thought for a moment and spoke. Brother Li Tongya. Li Tongya nodded his head, subsequently taking out a piece of wood and slipped towards Lu Rochuan and said, "This is the incantation for the fetal breathing realm, called the Green Origin Nourishing Will Method. You first memorize it in the courtyard. Strictly remember never to pass it on to outsiders. Every day at the hour of Chen and the hour of Shen, someone will deliver meals. If you need anything, you can also tell that person to call someone to deliver it. Ordinarily, I am not often in this courtyard, but at the hour of Chen and the hour of Shen, I will come to cast spiritual rain on this spiritual field. If you have any doubts regarding cultivation, you can freely bring them up to me." Seeing Lu Rochuan nodding repeatedly, Li Tongya smiled and asked softly, "Have the daily necessities and clothes from your home been delivered?" Lu Rochuan answered, "They have already been delivered." "Then you go tidy up and stay in the east room. Ordinarily cultivate diligently. Before attaining the profound scene, do not go out. Have you ever read books? I read some when I was young and know some characters. Then there is no need for me to teach you one by one. You read through it completely once first. If you have doubts, come ask me again." Watching Lu Rochuan bury her head to read that Green Origin Nourishing Will method, Li Tongya sipped tea, thinking idly, this child came to Dawnstream Village, unfamiliar with the people and the place, and because she is in this courtyard, there is no need to worry about the cultivation technique leaking out for these few years. Just as he was thinking, he heard a hearty laugh. Someone pushed the door and entered the small courtyard. "Third brother, why are you here?" "Naturally, there are some matters I want to discuss with second brother." Li Xiangping told him about the matter of the spiritual root. Li Tongya was naturally endlessly surprised and kept an extra eye out for this Li Qiuyang in his heart. The two conferred together, taking Li Yesheng and a few able-bodied men from the village. They went up the back mountain, entering autumn. This back mountain truly became increasingly desolate. Dawnstream Village's reed marshes were rich in products, full of vitality. The villagers had never been very interested in the back mountain. Fish and meat were supplied freely by the reed marshes, so why risk their lives fighting wild beasts in those deep mountains? "Second brother, I actually have some doubts. You say this Sea Yuan Bai drew boundaries for our family. Outside this boundary is other people's land. Before my Li family rose up, that family only needed to dispatch a fetal breathing cultivator to this place. Who would dare not to obey? Then why is it that my Li family farmed in this place for 200 years, yet unexpectedly not a single immortal cultivator was willing to come? Could it be they truly disdain these mortals?" Li Tongya stroked his chin and spoke with a solemn expression. "I have also pondered over this matter. Listening to that Sea Yuan Bai's meaning, this place was originally devoid of spiritual mechanisms for hundreds of years. Therefore there were absolutely no immortal cultivation resources. Thus no immortal cultivators were willing to waste time here. Beside here is the Great Dawn Mountain. The mountain terrain stretches endlessly. Who knows how many monsters and ghosts are in the mountains? It is far inferior to the comfort of that commandery city." Li Xiangping nodded in agreement. His face was somewhat ugly. He spoke to Li Tongya in a low voice. "Second brother, there is another, even worse possibility. Although this Green Pool sect is said to be incomparably powerful, it only occupies 1/4 of the nation of Transcendence. Could it be that there are no strong enemies around it? What I fear is that my Li family is right on the edge of his Green Pool sect's sphere of influence. When two villages fight for water, naturally no one is willing to plant crops on the edge. This is precisely the reasoning. According to what Su Wenshan said, to the south is the nation of Wu. There are continuous frictions between Wu and Transcendence. The immortal sect relations behind them are probably not much better." Li Tongya's heart chilled. His face also turned ugly. He spoke, "That was indeed an oversight. Tomorrow we will dispatch people to carefully probe around the ancient Dawn Road. Figuring out my Li family's situation first is the most urgent matter. I only hope my Li family is not the crop that Green Pool sect casually planted on the edge." Li Xiangping smiled bitterly, but heard Li Yesheng in front leading, a few sweat-drenched village men shouting, "Immortal Master, what a huge serpent!" The deep round patterns on that serpent's body crisscrossed. It was a full waist thick of a normal 8 or 9-year-old child. Its body coiled round and round on a large banyan tree, shining its bright yellow vertical pupils. It looked coldly at Li Tongya and the others. "What a huge serpent!" Li Tongya formed hand seals in his hands, not slow at all. As soon as the words fell, a hazy golden light had already emerged in his hands. That serpent hissed, flicking its bright red tongue. Opening its large mouth, it blasted out a thick black mist, but that golden light struck preemptively, going straight towards the brown-patterned serpent's lower jaw, striking the serpent's head askew. That thick black mist instantly poured onto the large tree to the side. That large banyan tree crackled and popped in an instant. The luxuriant branches and leaves were immediately completely corroded clean, turning into drops of black water dripping onto the soil. Even the main trunk, which took 2 people to embrace, had a thick layer corroded away. This black water spewed by the serpent, if a person gets it on them, even if they don't die, they'd probably peel off a layer of skin. Seeing this, Li Tongya told them to slowly retreat. Watching the few people slowly slowly retreat. That serpent didn't pursue either, coiled on that large banyan tree, looking coldly at the crowd. Li Tongya had a face full of puzzlement. That serpent unexpectedly didn't pursue until that large banyan tree disappeared from their line of sight. Li Qiuyang then timidly opened his mouth. Immortal Master, I can confirm. That fruit is right behind the tree. Li Tongya waved his hand and instructed Li Yeshan. You call the village men in the village. Go tell every household to bring their long sticks and iron shovels. Those with bows are even better. Bring your bows and arrows. Come up the mountain together. Li Yeshan agreed. Taking those few village men, they hurriedly went down the mountain. Li Tongya then patted Li Qiuyang's shoulder and spoke. At that time, you must have encountered this serpent going out to forage for food. Not only did you escape with your life, but you also obtained a serendipity. Go back to the courtyard to cultivate. There is no business for you here. Subsequently, Li Xianping found a piece of bluestone to sit on and said to Li Tongya, this serpent has such hard scales and armor. A strike of the golden light art merely shattered a few scales on its lower jaw. Looking at its appearance, it is merely a minor demon in the fetal breathing realm. Its spiritual intelligence is unawakened. No matter how hard a beast's scales and armor are, what use is it? Li Tongya replied indifferently with a single sentence, carefully observing the terrain. Before long, the able-bodied men of Dawnstream Village came up the mountain one after another. Hearing they were going to kill a monster, each one was both apprehensive and excited, following behind Li Yeshan, walking with their hands and feet. Why did you come along as well? My Lu family hunted wild boars using traps last year. We have some experience in dealing with this kind of giant creature. Hearing Li Yeshan say you were going to hunt a serpent, I thought of coming along to lend a hand. In the past, although the Li family was powerful, they still gave my Lu family some face. When there were matters in the village, they would still come and ask. Now that the Li family has integrated the various villages, how would my Lu family dare to come out and point fingers anymore? Going on like this is not a solution either. My Lu family must find our own place of usefulness under the Li family's shelter. Otherwise, we will decline sooner or later. Li Tongya asked at this time, since your Lu family killed wild boars using traps last year, I wonder for a serpent this huge, how large a trap should be dug to be suitable? I heard the serpent is a monster. It cannot be measured by common sense. Li Tongya, can that serpent fly? Naturally it cannot fly. Then you just follow the past experience and double it. Li Xianping muttered silently to himself in his heart. If this serpent could fly, would we still have our lives at this moment? Then it is easy to handle. Then we will trouble you to command these village men to dig a suitable trap right here. Li Xianping and I will go attach some spell arts to the arrows to make it convenient to deal with that serpent later. Subsequently, Lu Linfeng commanded the crowd to start digging the pit, pointing here and there, quite imposing. Li Tongya and Li Xianping were busy attaching the golden light art to the arrows. If not used, this spell art could probably maintain for 6 to 7 double hours. It was enough to kill this serpent. Before long, the crowd had dug the pit, covered up the traces of the fresh soil, and spread dry leaves over it. Brother Li Tongya, everything is prepared. Li Tongya immediately gave the order to begin the operation. The village men laid out their formation. Those holding long sticks stood at the front, those holding bows at the back, each holding an arrow attached with the golden light art, carefully walking towards where that serpent was. The people at the front had just walked in front of that large banyan tree. They couldn't help but exclaim in unison, what a terrifying serpent. That serpent was coiled on a large banyan tree. Its bright yellow vertical pupils made everyone's hearts pound with fear. Opening its mouth, it spewed a thick black mist. The few people in the front row had already been warned. They early on abandoned their sticks and retreated. This blast of black mist merely corroded the dry leaves on the ground and a few long sticks. And, right at this moment, streaks of flowing light carrying a faint golden color struck from behind but arrived first. These arrows had the golden light art attached, incomparably sharp. One by one, they hung onto the brown patterned scales of that serpent, being disturbed time and time again. This serpent was finally enraged. Hissing and flicking its tongue, it abandoned that banyan tree, winding and slithering towards the crowd. The crowd in front instantly scattered in a swarm. Li Tongya and Li Xianping hurriedly formed hand seals and released streaks of the golden light art, striking that serpent until it cried out in pain. It erected its golden pupils and looked towards the two, rapidly rushing over. The two were not frightened but overjoyed, watching that serpent wind and slither along the cliff wall. They shouted loudly, "Drop it!" While that serpent was moving, it suddenly felt its body sink and almost plunged headfirst into the large hole under the dry leaves on the ground. Yet on the cliff, a group of village men popped out upon hearing the sound, pushing a large bluestone together. That bluestone instantly plummeted, smashing squarely onto the serpent's back. For a time, tendons broke and bones fractured. The brown-patterned serpent hissed and was immediately pinned at the bottom of that pit. Lu Linfeng let out a long laugh, watching his masterpiece succeed, nodded in satisfaction. Li Yeshan shouted loudly. The crowd picked up sharpened bamboo poles one after another and relentlessly thrust them into the pit. Although that serpent's scales and armor were uniformly hard, it couldn't withstand over a dozen large men surrounding it and tormenting it like this. After confirming again and again that the serpent was dead, the crowd's cheers shook the sky, each one endlessly proud. Trouble you to arrange for these brothers to carry carry the corpse of this serpent back to the village together. Li Xiangping, let's go look behind the tree together. Leaving Lu Linfeng to preside over the matters, Li Tongya and Li Xiangping, along with Li Yesheng and a few trusted aides, seeing the dense grass covered with white bones, Li Yesheng sighed and spoke. Li Yesheng went up the back mountain a few years ago and never returned. Presumably he ran into the serpent foraging for food and was devoured by this serpent. Li Xiangping nodded his head very naturally. Li Tongya, however, was looking at that small tree hanging with 5 bright red fruits with a solemn expression, turning his head to say to Li Yesheng, take people and watch over this place. Do not let anyone come over. Tonight, Dawnstream Village was brightly lit. Eternal, every household had joyous laughter and voices. Children ran back and forth in the village as if it were the New Year festival, laughing and playing. Lu Linfeng led people to light a roaring bonfire in the open space in the village. Everyone gathered around the bonfire, talking and laughing, discussing that fierce and evil serpent. In the evening, Li Yesheng used a full 10 people to drag that serpent down the mountain, painstakingly stripped off the scales and armor, called the women in the village to finally slice the snake meat. Li Xiangping sat in front of the bonfire, turned his head and said to his older brother, this trip, eliminating the serpent and finding the spiritual root, is naturally satisfying. It's just a pity that our knowledge is shallow, and we don't recognize that spiritual root, not knowing its effects and taboos. It's better to leave it for now. Another day, we will find a trading market and ask around indirectly. Li Tongya nodded his head. The Summer Dawn secret slip states, creatures with scales, beasts, birds, and insects that become demons, absorb and exhale the essence of the sun and moon, breeding spiritual energy in their flesh and blood. Eating it strengthens the body and benefits the physique, enriching the vital energy in blood. Better let father have more. Li Xiangping hurriedly expressed, it has already been sent to the courtyard. That snake all is fully the size of 2 fists, and was also sent to the courtyard to soak in wine. As the two chatted and talked, Li Yesheng led that Su Wenshan over. Brother Li Tongya, person in charge Su has some matters he wants to discuss with the main family. Seeing this, the villagers by the bonfire whispered softly, that person in charge Su has gone to find the main family again. Person in charge Su has an active mind all day long. Unlike us who can only exert some physical strength for the immortal masters, to be highly regarded by the immortal masters is truly enviable. If you ask me, compared to that Su Wenshan, brother Li Qingfu truly has good fortune. Nowadays in Dawnstream Village, whoever sees our brother Li Qingfu doesn't respectfully call out, Brother Fu, you tell me, what miraculous abilities do these immortals have? Li Fusheng said with a serious face, inquire less about the matters of the immortal masters. Knowing too much is no good for you. The Li family is thin in numbers. I, Li Qingfu, as a concubine-born branch of the Li family, can also be considered a trusted aide. Now that I and the 3 children, 1 immortal and 2 mortals, have all changed our surname back to Li, the interests of the Li family are the interests of Li Qiuyang, and are the interests of me, Li Qingfu. Li Qiuyang harbors spiritual apertures, and is of the Li family bloodline. Excluding the currently in charge Li Tongya, Li Xiangping, and Li Yesheng, the 4th seat is firmly secured. That Lu Rochuan is of a foreign surname. How could she possibly meddle? At the same time, after listening to Su Wenshan's solemn descriptions, Li Xiangping and Li Tongya exchanged a glance, both deep in thought. The matter this Su Wenshan is scheming happens to coincide exactly with the 2 of us. This matter will be jointly overseen by you and Lu Linfeng. Excluding your fellows to do this work, the remaining manpower will first be drawn from the Lu family. Since the main family has approved this matter, this subordinate will definitely arrange this business properly. However, there are a few other immortal families on the ancient Dawn Road. If we want to establish trade, we cannot avoid asking them. You first dispatch people to carefully probe and contact them. First mark down the places with human habitation along the ancient Dawn Road. Make a map first. I, Old Su, have walked the Summer Dawn Road for over 10 years. Please rest assured, these tricks of walking the road are thoroughly familiar to me. If it weren't for never having been to this ancient Dawn Road, I, Su Wenshan, could draw this map right now. That is good. After Su Wenshan left, Li Tongya said to Li Yesheng, Uncle is also idle and bored at home. Might as well come out and do some work. That Su Wenshan is sly as a ghost. Although we inserted more than half of the Lu family members in, Li Yesheng, you still need to pay some attention. Do not let that Su Wenshan gain too much power. By the way, Li Yesheng, remember to find some reliable people of our own tomorrow. Go up the mountain and enclose that banyan tree with a small courtyard to guard against others peeking. Hearing this, Li Yesheng hurriedly agreed. I will go make the arrangements right now. After Li Xiangping finished saying this, he waved his hand. Li Yesheng consciously withdrew. Li Tongya sighed gently, said heavily, if it weren't for my Li family, truly lacking the manpower to hold down the fort, we wouldn't have to guard against people with 1,000 calculations and 10,000 schemes like this. We originally should have taken a trip to that trading market. Buying a map couldn't be easier. It's just that our brother's cultivation base is profound and low. The depths of that trading market are unknown. I'm just afraid we cannot take the risk. Li Tongya told him to rest assured. Now that Li Qijing has entered the sect, the spiritual saplings at home are growing well. The clan has produced a disciple with spiritual apertures, and also discovered this spiritual root. My Li family is exactly in a state of thriving prosperity. If we are too dissatisfied, it would instead invite unexpected disasters. These words made Li Xiaoping freeze. He nodded thoughtfully, smiled and said, I shall strictly remember elder brother's teachings. I just wonder if Li Qijing is doing well in that green pool sect. Is he adapting to the warmth and cold? Is his cultivation technique advancing? If he is being bullied, he must absolutely remember to tell his older brothers. On the peak summit of Green Ear Peak, Li Qijing, sitting on the bluestone in front of the pavilion, slowly exhaled a breath of clear air, opened his eyes to look at the boundless sea of clouds before him, raised his handsome eyebrows. This green origin wheel is finally cultivated. This incantation of our family truly has a grand origin. What is cultivated is not ordinary green origin magical power, but a unique lunar essence green origin. This lunar essence green origin is not only more solid, the magical power also far surpasses ordinary incantations. Getting up and smoothing out the cyan robe on his body, Li Qijing stepped into the pavilion, took down a gleaming cold light precious sword from the wall, with a twist of his wrist, danced out a sword flower. This profound water sword incantation given by senior brother can also be considered to have passed the entry level. Although it is a grade 3 incantation, one needs at least the energy refining stage to control it. But fortunately, the incantation itself is not difficult and is extremely easy to learn. I wonder if father's health is still well. Have my older brothers cultivated that circulating journey wheel? I heard that the boring gold sect to the west has been restless recently. The borders of the two factions connect for thousands of miles. I wonder if my Li family has been affected. Thinking of these worrying matters, Li Qijing also lost his mood to practice the sword. Lying prone at the table, absent-mindedly flipping through the jade slips, his mind had already run to the Li family thousands of miles away. But he heard a loud shout carrying a smile. A man with thick eyebrows and large eyes walked from outside the pavilion. It was precisely senior brother Xiao Yuanzi. He smiled and looked at Li Qijing in front of the table, and spoke. Guess what good news I brought? Master wants me to go to Summer Dawn Commandery to handle some matters. Passing through your Dawnstream village is merely a matter of convenience along the way. Do you have any family letters to bring? Many thanks, senior brother. Senior brother is too good. Li Qijing was instantly endlessly excited, repeatedly thanking him. Subsequently, he fetched the brush, ink, paper, and inkstone, and immediately started writing. You take your time writing. Just give it to me tonight.